Hey everybody, it's me, your host, Papa Jam. We're here tonight for this month's Game Club, and we surprisingly everybody here actually finished this time, but we are one person short. Julian will not be with us in discussion tonight, but instead we've got the rest of LGG. So hi Scott, hi Jock, how are you?
Hello.
Hey, not bad.
So we all had a full month to play Undertale, and all of us started early and feathered it out throughout the
Totally.
month. And
Yeah,
just did little by
absolutely.
little. We did
Totally.
not all
None of
play
us-
it within the last couple of days.
Yeah, none of us binged this thing within the last couple of hours.
Yeah, like I didn't like
Others.
stay up till I didn't start at like 7 yesterday. Stay up till 4 or stay up till like those 5 in the morning playing the game. Went to sleep, woke back up at 12 and continue playing the game until a few hours ago.
Yeah, I probably had the earliest. Well, I guess technically speaking, if Julian was here, Julian had already finished it at some point, but I was able to finish it last Friday, and I fettered it over 2 nights, so I was able to get that done. But did both of you go in totally blind, or did you have some kind of experience with Undertale before this month?
Um, I've had bits and pieces of like things that people have told me over the years, but it's very small. Like I really knew practically nothing about Undertale. The only thing that I really knew was that you can do passive, you can do aggressive, and I was told that the game is better if you do passive. So I dedicated myself to playing the game without killing a soul.
I'm mostly blind. Like, obviously, there's certain things that I think most people know if you've just been on the internet since the time this game released. Of like, you know who like Sans and Papyrus is. Some of the big themes of the game that we'll get into, especially like the whole passive thing. But my experience with this game, I played it originally when it came out at a convention, like in a gaming hall at a convention. They had laptops set up and you could play different games, and one of them was Undertale. And I got to the end of the ruins and was just like, nah, I'm done. We're good.
I think I
And then
probably
that was
went
it.
in. I think I probably went in the most blind of all of us because the only thing that I knew was that there was a skeleton dude and that song, the do 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 whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was literally all that I knew about
Unfortunately,
Undertale.
unfortunately, I could not hear that song when I played the game because you play passive, he doesn't fight you.
Yeah, we're gonna get into that because I did not experience that at all. But I feel like we all went in like kind of fresh, never frozen, and
Yeah.
we'll just go ahead and sort of jump into the game itself. So, for people that aren't aware, there was a war between humans and monsters. The monsters were sent underground. You play as a kid that tumbled into the underground, and you're stuck. And you are found by a goat woman named Toriel, but not before you encounter your first NPC, Flowey. What did you guys think of Flowey?
Generically evil.
Flowey,
Oh my god.
that fucking
Like
face
he
freaked me
was
out.
just
Yeah.
kind of like a dick, and that was about it.
Yeah.
I was a bit more intimidated by him, I think, than you guys, because he's just so insipid.
Well,
I mean, no, he's intimidating later, but at the beginning,
Also-
he's just like,
had a very different experience because again, I had already played through the ruins.
Okay, yeah,
Okay.
this is the first
So-
time for
yeah.
me.
I found him in.
Knowing certain things about the very beginning of this game.
I will tell you when I found him intimidating. I didn't find him intimidating like right away when he like attacks you and like what's her name like stops him. Freya,
I
yeah.
just said it literally
I-
like.
Listen,
Leave it.
I'm really bad with names. I just crammed all this stuff into my head within the past 24 hours.
That's fine.
Well, so I yeah, so like was the prayer save me? Like I was like, okay, I thought that was just like a random flower enemy, right? Like I just like some NPC, right? It wasn't until like later on. I don't think we want to get into that until a minute. And not too much later on, but like pretty much after the tutorial where you see him again, and it's just like, oh, this guy kind of scares me.
Well, the thing for me in terms of like game design and why Flowey left an impression on me was because I had no idea what to expect, and it's designed in a way to sort of be welcoming and whatever, and then it turns into like that weird ugly face like
Yeah.
monster. And it sort of gives you an idea of what to expect in this game, is that you can't use preconceived notions to sort of guide you, and that you could be, think the rug could be pulled out from you at any point. And he sort of gives you your big like emotional crutch, which is like it's kill or be killed, and that literally fits into like the gameplay of Undertale.
Yeah.
I liked his introduction, and then I totally forgot about him because the rest of the world got me absorbed. And Toriel, what did you guys feel about Toriel, the goat mom?
I don't understand all the porn for her.
I found.
I did not know there was goat porn.
The porn for her is weird. She's like a
character. Like it's
she's
her
like a
and Sans that basically get all of it.
It's weird because she's like a mother figure, and I'm not really into that. So it's like
That's
she's
fine.
very motherly.
Let's focus less on the porn.
But no, like I thought she was fine.
You didn't like her?
I liked her. I liked her. Like,
I liked her.
How should I put it? And this is a theme I have with a lot of the characters. To me, they just didn't have as much depth as I would have cared for. Like, you don't spend a lot of time with them. They have to be very quick notes. So they have to be hooks that just grab you right away. She's the sad mother figure that, is just trying to see her, lost child essentially in you. And it's like, yeah,
I think there's a bit
emotionally attaching, but it's not.
There's a bit more to it, and it's spoilers for like the stuff we're going to talk about later. But I think really the thing about this game is I did get attached to characters in this game, and I think the biggest thing about this game is like there is a lot to them. They just don't have a lot of time to tell you. So it's like there's glimpses of it that you can see, glimpses of more complex parts of their personality
like
you can
this
see.
Game was very half done.
I don't feel that. Like you just don't spend a lot of time with all the characters because you are on a mission.
Right.
You have to get to where you're going to get to next. But there
no
are, but it's like
really,
there is. Oh, there is. What you call them? A character that gets really like there are two characters I can think of that get a lot of development. But one of them, especially if you're playing the passive, you'll be able to see this. Is what's his name? Pyrus? Pyrus? The Sans brother.
Papyrus.
Papyrus gets a lot of development. Let's
be perfectly honest here. If we're going to talk about the routes real quick, most people, 99% of people, are going to end up on neutral their first playthrough. 100%.
I mean, that's true. Like most people, I would say probably end up on neutral.
Unfortunately, is like one of the worst routes of the game.
We'll sort of. I want to go over the endings after we get out of the ruins because that's where we'll sort of branch out. But I want to go over Toriel, and I want to go over the characters in general because in terms of storytelling and game design, because this game is so short, a lot of stuff is left to subtext. So if you aren't really looking for it, if you aren't really looking for it, there's not a whole lot to chew on. I was interested in Toriel because she comes off as somebody, because you got to remember in context, especially for somebody that's going in blind like me. You were given an NPC that you can't trust immediately, and then you're given another one that's, is she giving you the runaround again? And she sort of
definitely had that feeling
when she has. There's a dialogue that you have with her in her house when she leads you through the ruins, where she's trying to buy your affection and your attention. She's
every single time you talk about leaving, she changes the subject. Yeah.
And the whole thing with her, even my first playthrough, I just saw her more as like a depressing kind of like she's so desperate.
It's not that. It's not that. There was definitely something. It's honestly more straightforward. No, it really isn't. It really isn't. Like you because the things that you find out at the end of the game, it becomes way more complex.
Yeah.
First impressions of her.
Fair.
Know all the context.
Fair.
Yeah, but
first impressions is what we're talking about. Man.
Yeah, and I'm still in this part because you are given a lot of her at the beginning. She has that cloying need to keep you safe. You're not sure why. You were just almost killed by a flower, so she could
I just saw her as a creepy old woman. woman that's just literally just trying to keep you there.
Yeah,
like,
she could be doing that. She could be
like the old witch in a
legitimately.
cottage, you know?
I think I
Yeah.
realized like towards the end of the tutorial area is what I realized that there was something a little bit more to this.
Yeah.
You know, with some of the shit what she
You
said.
were
But
also
I thought the same thing.
freeway knowledge of being
No.
being passive for everything.
No. Literally, I was just told that the game is better if you play passive. I didn't know like what that really meant, but I was told that the game was better if you play passive. That's all. Like it was literally like I would say, oh, this is kind of creepy. She wants to keep me, like she wants to like keep me here. She's definitely doing that old woman thing of like I want to keep the child and like you know and like kind of like dismiss anything he talks about when he talks about leaving, and. But then she says something on the way to the door that makes me think, wait a minute, there's something more to this.
Yeah, so
But I'll get to that later.
But before we get to that, I want to discuss a little bit of the gameplay because a big part of her introduction is tutorializing the game. So the actual gameplay, you play as the kid. Apparently the kid has a name, but I can't remember what the name is.
I don't remember the kid ever having a name.
You only get it in the true pacifist epilogue. Like that's the only time you get the name.
Oh,
Yeah,
well
so
then, I never would have gotten that.
Yeah. I only know it from like the wiki that I read afterwards because I wasn't gonna play it again. The gameplay, you're playing this kid. You walk around, and the only thing to really do other than speak to people and do very minor puzzles is combat. But the gameplay is sort of disingenuous in the way that it like gives you things. You're already it sort of messes with you, which is you can look at it as like an unfair thing, or you could look at it as a really clever design choice. Again, you go back to the first two NPCs that you met. Flowey looks nice and then turns on you. Toriel looks nice, but it seems like she's, like Scott said, desperate to keep you there. So the Flowey says kill or be killed. And Toriel says, you know, don't kill. So you're not really sure what to do. The only time that you get immediate gratification is if you kill, because early on, if you do the pacifist route, you don't get experience and you don't get money. It's like hard mode for no reason. Whereas if you kill them, you get experience and you get money, and you're like, oh well, I have, because having like 20 HP at level 1 the whole game, I can't imagine how difficult that is in some of the later fights.
See, I also think that's one of those things. Like, there's a lot of people that will just never be able to beat the game on pacifist.
Yeah.
Like doing that run. Like 100%.
It wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad.
I was dying after, and I was like level 8 or 9.
Yeah,
final boss. Like
I finished the game at 9.
A lot of the near, like the bosses near the end, I was just not surviving. Like 100%.
It took a while. Luckily,
so like if I was still at 20, there was no way I'd beat this game. Period.
Yeah, it's a hard game on pacifist, like for sure. So it's kind of interesting that way. But the actual combat itself is not turn-based. It's kind of turn-based, but you choose what you want to do, and then regardless of what it is, you will control a dot in a square or rectangle of some sort, and you're just dodging stuff. You don't really have a way to.
It's like a bullet hell.
Yeah, except you don't have a way to for most of the game. You don't really have a way to combat your enemy. You're kind of just dodging and surviving. So in I played on PC. You use your arrow keys and you just dodge. So it's kind of interesting gameplay. I wasn't really too into it. I kind of just learned to play around it as best as I could. What did you guys think of the gameplay? Like the actual gameplay?
I mean, it was creative. It's just, it does mean that, like, for a very specific path, it basically makes it impossible for certain people to be able to beat the game. But I thought it was a creative design choice and something kind of different. Like, I don't hate it in any means, and I also liked some of the bosses, we'll get to later, had different effects on you by changing the heart color.
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of neat.
That was really cool.
Some of them were bullshit, but I thought they were kind of fun.
Yes, but I honestly, it grew on me, right? I wasn't like feeling it too terribly much when I was getting into my first battles and shit. Especially considering the fact that I was like going passive. So I wasn't like really enjoying it too much, but the it was when like I started like getting it, like I started getting to some of the more complex fights. Actually, pretty much like the last fight you do in the tutorial area, really, is when it really like clicked, and I'll get more into that when we start talking about that.
Yeah. So I think the consensus is kind of like it's not our favorite gameplay. It's fine for what it is, but I didn't find it particularly engaging. I learned to play within its rules though.
It became engaging for me after a little bit, is what I was saying. Like
Yeah,
I actually did learn to like it.
Yeah, I didn't hate it, but I didn't like it. If that makes sense. Like it was just, yeah, it was fine. I like what they tried doing there, but
So, in terms of going through the ruins, because we could be here a long time if we sort of go through every single NPC. Do you want to discuss the minor ones like like the napping ghost, or
not really.
Yeah,
I mean,
if you
fine. I didn't kill the napping ghost.
okay,
I couldn't kill the depressed ghost. I mean, like, well, if I'm gonna be honest, I didn't kill almost any boss whatsoever in the game.
okay, interesting.
It was just the random fodder. Which, by
Yeah.
the way, since we're probably not gonna get to him, my favorite random enemy was the Tsundere Plains.
My
Those are
God, I
so
love that. I
stupid.
love them. They were so, they were
Yeah.
great. Oh my God.
The enemy design was really clever in this game. I will admit that is really
Yeah,
fun.
the sprite work was also very good on it.
Yeah.
On them, like,
Oh my God, dude, the
Right.
fucking Tsundere planes.
All right, so
and their little death animation was great, where they just slowly crash and blow
oh,
up.
I never killed a
Oh, I
Tsundere
never
plane.
killed the
I-
Tsundere plane.
I had a- I had a-
so I
It's
didn't.
money.
I
I
have
had a
a-
dog shrine to spend money on, sir. Like,
I have a very hard line. Well, I'll tell you about it in a bit. So you proceed through the ruins on your own, and eventually you find Toriel's house. You could have killed stuff. You didn't have to kill stuff. And this is where we were talking about earlier, where she sort of asks you what kind of pie you like. She desperately tries to.
oh, just quick.
Oh, yeah.
Before, since we're moving out of the ruins, did you all wait for a while at the one spot when she tells you to?
No.
No, I didn't.
Oh, you get some. It goes on for. I want to say I spent about an hour there, and kept getting unique dialogue.
Huh.
Because the dog steals the phone, like her cell phone.
What?
And-
Oh, damn! I didn't do any of that.
Yeah, she just keeps trying to get it away, and you just keep hearing like barking and things like that as like her phone was stolen.
That's good.
It's
That's really
great. Like
dumb.
it goes on for so much longer than I thought it was going to.
That's pretty good. Yeah. I kind of wish
Yeah,
I
so
did
I
that.
really recommend if anyone does do it. Like that is a fun little Easter egg that you can just sit there and wait, and there is quite a lot more unique dialogue than I thought. It does take a long time to get all of it, but there is
Yeah.
quite a bit there.
I'm gonna come back to that sort of general idea when we sort of go over a review, because I did have a general thought for most of this game, but you get to Tutorial's house. She tries to keep you from leaving the ruins. She doesn't want you to leave the ruins. She wants to teach you the things she wants. She wants to keep on. She doesn't really make it clear why, but then she decides, I've had enough. I don't want you to leave. I'm gonna destroy the exit.
Yes. And that's where things get interesting, because on her way to destroy the exit, one of the things she says, this one makes me like kind of like start thinking a little bit more. I'm just gonna say three-dimensional about her. Is when she's like saying no because you're gonna just go out there and you're gonna die like the rest of them. And I was like, wait, she's talking about like general death, or is something gonna happen? The more she's talking about no, she says someone's gonna kill me.
Well, I mean, she's also just talking about the fact that there are monsters out there. Like,
Yeah, but no, like no, she sounded very.
right, but it
she's
could be implied that she also just, could be the one good monster, and that the other monsters out there, if they find you, are just gonna kill you. Like, I don't want you going out there and just dying,
I'm leaning more towards what Jock said, because when I heard her dialogue, I thought she was referencing other kids that came through. Because if you explore her house,
She was.
if
Yeah.
you explore her house,
Well,
there's
yeah,
like kids' toys and things like that. She's trying to prevent you from having the same
Right,
fate
but
as
I just
other kids
figured that,
before her.
A lot of kids fall down this, fucking hole and end up going out, and then the random monsters kill them, and she just is tired of seeing that happen, and
Yeah.
just
Right.
wants to protect you.
Well, real quick. Now, I do want to ask: did all of you spare her, or did
I wasn't
any of
gonna
you kill her?
kill her.
Domini?
I killed her.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's
No, like I
what
said,
here's
I
what
mentioned it
happened.
before. I spared almost every boss in this game. There's
I-
only one boss I'll mention that I killed.
Yeah, I killed her, but
Or
it was
two,
because I
sorry.
didn't really understand that I didn't have to, because I fought her once and she killed me. Like, she outright like, if you let her, she'll kill you.
She will.
And there is no like unique dialogue for that, where because like her whole thing is she's trying to protect you. I thought, well, if we, if she gets close to killing me, she just won't kill me, but she does. And then I had to play through a bunch of dialogue because I didn't understand the save.
If you were doing the spare, she actually does stop attacking you.
Well, that's
if you get
sort of
low on health.
yeah. I didn't really get
Like,
to figure that out because she killed me, and I had to replay a bunch of dialogue, and I was like, I don't want to do that again. So I saved, and I was like, well, I guess I just got to kill her, because I didn't understand the spare mechanic or changing the dialogue to yellow or figuring out, because I exhausted the talk option to the point where it's like she's not listening, or like it never changed. So then I was just like, I'm just gonna keep hitting her until I get her to low health and see what happens. If you fight her long enough, when she has about a quarter health, you do one more attack and it just takes out the last quarter of her health, which I wasn't expecting because there's no like critical hits or nothing. She just dies.
Interesting fact, right? That's an interesting fact, right? Like going off of that, right? So I I accidentally killed her once, right? Because you're fighting, because I'm fighting her, and then I got to a point where where her health was getting low, and then I stopped fighting her and I started sparing, right? But the first time I tried to do this, I didn't realize that the last hit was gonna take half her freaking health and kill her right away, right?
Just mentioning.
Yeah. So this is what I'm gonna mention. So here's the thing, right? The first person you see after you go past the door is Flowey, right? So when I accidentally killed her, I restarted the game and played her again and spared her this time. Flowey was like, "You think I don't know what you did? You killed the old hag and you restarted, didn't you?" And that's when Flowey creeped me out.
Yeah.
That's when Flowey creeped me out, bro. Yeah. When he we did that.
Did you use a guide in order to be able to spare everyone?
No,
No,
I just figured stuff out.
no, I didn't use a guide to be able to spare anyone.
Way too convoluted.
I legitimately just figured out all all of them. One, I don't know. Are we gonna talk about?
Way too convoluted.
Are we talking about the Are we gonna talk about the bosses? Well, not bosses. Like, are these guys considered bosses? Like the two guards you fight later?
Yeah, the two guards. Fuck how you're supposed to know that.
We'll get to them.
I legitimately just fucked around and figured that out. Like, I legitimately was just fucked around and figured that out.
My general rule of thumb was that, well, I'll sort of get to it, but my general rule of thumb was, if I can't figure it out, then they're dead. But if I can, then I'll just keep exhausting options and survive. Mainly I just got good at the game, which is how I was able to do that. But if you can't figure out how to dodge everything, like, you're gonna have a rough time figuring out all that stuff.
Oh yeah, I did not get super good at the game.
It is very difficult, and it's not helped. Like, honestly, if you're gonna go for a pacifist run, anyone playing this game, look up a guide for how to spare them. Like, the enemies and the bosses. Like, just do yourself a favor.
There was one thing I did do because I wasn't really sure. I wasn't really sure how to deal with the. I wasn't really sure how to deal with the the second to final. Well, we can't say second to final boss, but you know which one when I say second to final boss, right? You know who I'm talking about, right?
I would assume so, yes.
Yeah. So I couldn't figure out what to do with him, and I was like, okay, they give you an option after you beat him in an actual fight. So I had to actually fight that one. But I did look into that because I didn't want to mess up because I didn't I wasn't going anywhere. I wasn't going anywhere. Just trying to talk to him. He was not hearing it. So yeah.
I'll mention it when we get there.
So, whether you spare her or not, when the fight with Toriel is done, you exit and you do not see her again. Quote,
yeah. I do want to say this. I do want. Yeah, I do want to say this
Then it
too.
was directed.
This is what a game for me it clicked. This is what a game for me clicked. By the way, this is where I started. Okay, I see what people see in this game, because in the moment when I was trying when I was like trying to get past her fight without like killing her, um that scene as like she's attacking me, and then suddenly after like I refuse to fight, and she like wants to attack, but then now her attacks are now avoiding me, and she's like crying out, why aren't you fighting, so why did you stop, right? That it really felt to me like the scene that you'll see like a lot of anime where a main character, or other games, right, where where a character decides
Pikachu in
to
Pokemon the first movie.
pretty much, right? Yeah, like that, right? Where like like they refuse, the main character refuses to fight, and the person who doesn't actually want to hurt them, is crying out to them, telling them to like continue fighting, and they refuse, and they turn that into a game mechanic, and I actually felt that, like I actually felt it during that moment. I was like, this, I'm actually it actually is kind of emotional.
Cliche.
Yeah, it was kind of different because it was a gameplay. It was more than just like watching it. It was a gameplay mechanic, and that made it interesting.
Yeah, you had there's a word, I can't think of it. You had, it's like you were a part of the actual story rather than just being fed to you.
Yeah.
It's not drive. I can't. If I remember the word, I'll come back to it. But that's sort of where we exit the ruins, and Toriel is left behind us one way or another. So then we head to the snowy mountains of Snowdin. What did you guys think of Snowdin, like, overall?
Snowden was interesting. Yeah, like honestly, it was. I found Sans and Pirates to be fun. They were like they were just fun, like fun characters, like Papyrus.
In the game.
He's great. He's absolutely great. He's funny.
I mean, he's just a lovable idiot.
Yeah, he really is a lovable idiot.
Lovable, happy-go-lucky idiot.
He really is like a lovable, happy-go-lucky idiot, and I love him.
Very mysterious, and you'll never know why because the game will never tell you.
Oh, if you play passive, you learn stuff.
But you don't learn a ton because that's what people were saying with Deltarune goes more into Sans.
Sans is an interesting character to me because the only thing I had going in my head was that he is a big important character and in that song. So I was like,
that song slaps. By the way, I was a little disappointed that I couldn't hear it because I played passive.
Yeah, and I was kind of wondering where the turn was or what was going to happen, and then it sort of never came. And I was like, if I had never gotten any information on Undertale at all, the turn from Sans would have broken my mind because he's such a I mean, I hate to put it like this, he's kind of a nothing character because he's sort of just like too cool for you. He says that he'll do bad stuff, but in terms of what you see, he doesn't do anything. Well,
this woman that laughed at my knock jokes and bad jokes and asked me to not kill humans.
You learn that much later.
You're still alive.
Yeah, you learn that much later. We do know who that was too, right?
Yeah, I'm talking about my experience in Snowdin at the time that I was in Snowdin.
Right, but I'm just saying, like it that goes with that whole too cool for you thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's in a neutral route. That's all he is this character that's you're supposed to think he's the badass. He's like Boba Fett.
I didn't get that.
Star Wars.
I didn't get the badass.
I didn't get badass either.
Maybe
like
it's more of he's like that. He's more of like that confident, like playful character. He's like he was it.
Aloof.
He's aloof. He's aloof. That's a great. He's aloof. He doesn't take anything seriously.
He's supposed to be that aloof, but like super amazingly powerful character.
I didn't get that from him.
I really never got that from him. Like, legitimately, I watched the Sans fight, and I legitimately like, holy shit, he can do all that. Like, right? I watched that. I was like, holy fuck.
I've never seen the fight. Like, coming in totally blind, he's a nothing character to me. And I guess if I go to I'm on YouTube, I could just play the fight. But in terms of like your experience blind with Sans in Snowdin, he's like nothing. I mean, he loves his brother. He seems cool.
Yeah,
In Snowden, he was just a nothing character. He was literally just.
Yeah.
He's here at he's a decent, nice brother. And
Mm-hmm.
that's about it.
Yeah, that's the point I was getting to earlier, which is that
I was like
I was
suspicious
just
of some
mentioning,
things.
even in all of the neutral route, he
I
really
was kind of
do anything.
I was kind of suspicious of him, because of how he how he was always constantly trying to protect me, and then one of my thoughts was like, why is he always trying to protect me? What is this? Right?
Yeah.
That was a thought going through my mind, right? Like, can I really trust this dude?
It feeds into that thing I said at the beginning, where Flowey and Toriel are kind of untrustworthy. Why put your trust in Sans, right?
Yeah,
Like they
so
said,
I
they started off early.
Seemed that he was trying to protect me. For me, at least, it just seemed like he didn't care. Like he was indifferent to me.
Like he said,
like he was more just, like when I was like, oh, the junior jumble is definitely the harder thing.
Oh,
like, oh, thanks for looking out for my brother.
Yeah,
he
real
was
quick,
just,
because I don't want to brush over this.
Like he wasn't.
Oh, sorry, continue.
He wasn't like necessarily looking out for me and trying to protect me. He was just,
Well, that's what he said he was gonna do. He did do that, and then also that's what he said he's gonna do, because
when Papyrus first shows up, he tells you to hide behind the tree. Which is, I mean,
but he also keeps alluding to his brother about the lamp.
Yeah.
And,
but that's the thing, is like, you don't know whether to trust him or not, but it winds up being like a nothing situation.
I just saw him being like, kind of fucking with both you and his brother at that point.
Yeah, because that's what he was doing.
Was kind of my thought on it, was he was fucking with you to make you nervous, but he was also fucking with his brother because, like, all the human you want is right there.
Yeah.
But you're too stupid to.
He wouldn't call his brother
go over
stupid.
And look.
Yeah, he wouldn't call his brother stupid.
Right, but you get the idea. Like, it was just. To me, it just seemed like he was fucking around. Like,
it really did.
The fact that his puzzle was just a crossword laying on the ground.
Yeah.
Like, it just seemed, again, indifferent to me. Like, he was just about his brother. His brother wants to see a human.
I mean,
and to interact with the human. So
he knows his brother. He knows
his brother happy.
Yeah, he knows his brother is incompetent. That's the thing about it, right? Because like he knows his brother is incompetent, but he just loves his brother, and he just wants his brother to like be happy. So like seeing like a human, he's like, yeah, like I'll keep my promise and make sure that this human doesn't get killed. Because I'm gonna keep my promise, make sure this human doesn't get killed, like that I made to this woman. At the same time, I want my brother to be happy. My brother's kind of incompetent. As long as I make sure that nothing goes too wrong, he won't be able to kill this kid.
Yeah, but he also wasn't going to step in necessarily for if you died with Papyrus at the end.
To be fair,
that's true.
Yeah, to be fair, Toriel does kill you.
He was not necessarily protecting you.
Yeah,
like
these everybody kind of just has. They're all kind of complicated, but in their own weird way.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Like, I enjoy. Oh, by the way, did either of you go on the date with Papyrus?
Yeah, I did, but I want to talk about that closer to the end of Snowden.
I just wanted to see if all of us had or not.
Yeah, it was really stupid.
It was like, dumb. I love it. I was like, it was funny too. I was like, bro, he's like, bring me back to his. On his first day, he brings it to his house. The fuck you take me for?
Before that, I want to talk about the first boss fight you encounter in Snowden with Doggo. And we don't necessarily have to go every single boss fight, because there are quite a few, and I mean there's like 3 or 4 alone here.
Mini bosses, yeah.
But there's a reason I want to talk about Doggo first.
That's when it changed the game, like kind of changed the gameplay a little bit first.
Yeah, because Doggo is he's like a cool dog with. I'm looking at a picture of him. He's got like a picture.
Bones.
Yeah.
Hold up on the screen.
I straight up murdered this dog.
Oh my god!
I kill a single dog.
I killed this dog, and it was because I couldn't figure. And I go back to the thing: if I couldn't figure it out, I was just gonna kill them. And so I was like, well, I'll just keep hitting him till he dies. Maybe something different will happen. And then I sort of realized after I killed him, you lose a bunch of options. And I was like, well, all right, from now on. And this was when I decided, if I can figure it out, I won't kill them. Like, and if I can get past the next parts, then I won't. And I stuck to that rule for the most part. I made a couple of exceptions, but we'll sort of cross those. But yeah, were there any particular boss fights you guys wanted to go over? There's Doggo, there's the twin dogs, and the puppy, the Pomeranian.
Yeah. So what was it, like the lesser dog?
There was the two. Was it here that had? No. No, it's later. It had the 2 guards that
Yeah, that's later. That's in
Yeah, that's
Hotland.
later.
That's in Hotland.
Later, yeah.
no, I mean, there's none of the mini bosses that
I did particularly kind of like that one though. Like Scott, I know Scott disliked it. Scott disliked
I
it, but
just
I
think it was too
enjoyed.
cryptic
Yeah,
for how it was.
I enjoyed figuring it out, like figuring out how to
Right.
get them. But we'll go into them later. Freaking. You know, or maybe they'll go into each other. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, freaking. So, yeah. Honestly, shoot. One of the things, one of the things I did want to bring up in the area, the snow area. I never delivered that freaking snowman. Now that I think about it. Well, anyways,
I didn't either. I had to eat it.
I still have
know
him.
there was a snowman.
I still have him. I just didn't deliver him yet.
No, I had to eat him in the last fight. I was like, I'm not surviving. I got to do something.
But I was gonna say the what was it? Did any of y'all sleep at the inn?
No, I tried to, but they wouldn't let me. They were like, you don't need to sleep. I think I was at full health, and so they wouldn't let me sleep.
Oh my God! So I
guess I had to spend 350 G on a
So I
dog.
I slept at the inn. All right, and this was great. I went upstairs, and then you just hear like this obnoxious ass snoring, right? And then it comes down, and then like it cuts to the next scene, and then the receptionist is like, "Oh, I was like, oh, you look like you slept well," which is surprising because you've only been there for 2 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, they do weird shit like that all the time. I think I got that as well.
Usually your money back. Said, "Come back when you want to actually stay tonight."
Okay, that happened to me. I didn't get the snoring thing though, but I got them when they're like,
I wonder if the snoring is random.
I guess maybe.
I will say, I'm guessing I'm the only one that gave 350 gold to the dog shrine.
Yeah.
Yes.
I killed dogs.
Yes, I did not.
Anything to the
I mean, dude, I barely had money at the beginning because I wasn't killing anybody.
I don't think I had the option to do it.
Okay. Like, I love the dog shrine joke. So, the one downside is you can only donate 1 gold at a time. And it's a long-ass text box in order to donate 1 gold every time for 350 gold. So that was a downside. But the jokes with it were pretty great. Because the dog essentially just keeps spending money on shit that you donate in order to liven up the place. So, like, the first thing he does is buy... Because it's like a Japanese shrine. And the first thing he does is buy, like, Christmas lights to hang up. And then at some point he buys, like, one of the wacky inflatable arm flailing tube men. And he'll buy, like, a rope. It's just a length of rope.
Oh my God.
It's like, for that length of rope, I think he got ripped off. And then later he buys a second one of the same length. And it's like, did he not learn? And then, like, one of the things is a boombox, but it's broken, so it only plays on certain, like, one song. And if you try to change the songs, it just makes it a higher pitch. And then he tried buying a CD for the boombox, but it was a video game, so it doesn't work.
Stupid.
He also got his. He tried to get his shrines like certified as a landmark, and it was rejected. But he framed the rejection notice.
Dog is an idiot.
It's great. Like the jokes they did with that, I very much like. That was.
I do want to point that out. Like this game was
like,
very funny at times.
He also made the to where you could do more than 1 gold at a time by expanding the collection box, but then you realize he just painted it, so he didn't actually expand it. Looks like it's a bigger collection box.
While you were talking, I kind of remembered what happened why I killed Doggo. I was sparing him, but if you attack him once, he doesn't listen to you anymore. And that's when I was like, if I'm gonna do this, I can't attack. Like, once I attack, I have to dedicate myself to attacking.
Yeah, okay.
So that's what happened there. Yeah, Doggo's an idiot,
yeah,
but the writing is really good in this game.
Yeah, if anyone wants to find the dog shrine, it is in Santa Papyrus's house, which means you do want even no matter what you're playing through, you have to save Papyrus. You cannot kill him.
Yep.
If you do, you lose out on the dog shrine.
Yeah, I did not.
Unless you are specifically doing a genocide route.
Mhm.
Then you have an alternate way to get to it. But if you don't, then you do have to save Papyrus or spare Papyrus, or else you do lose access because it's in Papyrus and Sans' kitchen.
In Snowdin Town is when you can start learning about the history of the world and start realizing that the humans sort of just like got nervous and decided to murder all the monsters. Like
Yeah.
that'll sort of come to a climax when you get closer to the end of the game. But Snowdin is where the plot or the background starts really coming into
Real
perspective.
quick, while you're talking about this, I'm gonna step away for a second.
So there isn't a whole lot to do in Snowdin Town. After that, you kind of just fight Papyrus. Did you want to go into any detail about Papyrus? Because
I mean, yeah, I do enjoy Papyrus as a character and stuff like that. The boss fight was okay. I mean, you just flirt with him pretty much, and that's it. Like, it is entertaining that's the way you spare him is by flirting with him.
his whole arc in like he's like, I guess this is love. I guess this is liking, and he's like. By the time you get to the end of his thing where he's like, I just liked you because I thought I needed to like you, I was like, what the fuck is happening? I should kill this guy. Like, I regretted sparing him by the end. I was like, this guy's an idiot.
Yeah.
But he's fine.
He's an idiot, but he just wanted to be part of the Royal Guards with the Undine.
Yeah, it's not...
Or Undine, or however you want to pronounce it, because
yeah.
the game never pronounces it, like, ever, so you don't know how they intended to be pronounced, since I've heard it multiple ways in other games that have had that spelling, so... But yeah, I mean, I think...
Okay, I'm back.
Hey, welcome back.
Like I said, Papyrus is my favorite out of all of them.
For
I don't
sure.
think any character in this game is poorly written, but I think that there are some that are just written well enough to get the message across, and that's about it.
I think my thing with them is like like many characters that you just don't get to spend a lot of time with, and it's pretty much like when you meet a person, right? You can see glimpses of more complex things about them, but if you spend like a limited time with them, that's all you will know. Yeah, that's kind of what it's like with a lot of the characters in this game. It's just you just don't like it's like a passerby. It's like somebody that you met and then like never really spoke to a lot again, but there was more to them. You just never really took the time to learn it.
Yeah, I'm gonna take what you said there.
They'll never give you the time to learn it.
I wanna
like,
take what you said there.
There's no way to ever learn it.
To sort of like harp on something that annoyed me about this game is like I never there is a lot to discover in this world, but I had like zero interest in backtracking. And there are a couple.
That's because backtracking was not easy to do.
Yeah, so there's a couple things.
Yeah,
that you do
I didn't really do any backtracking.
Specifically, there's like a key you can buy like 3/4 of the way, and I think it's for a house in Snowdin, but I never figured it out.
Shed.
And I was like, I'm not going back there. Like this is the game.
But,
question.
The problem was it was just so far to go back, and there's no fast travel. There's no.
Did you guys real quick?
Through, like 4 areas.
At the beginning of the game, did you guys kill the dummy?
I think I did, because when I met the second dummy,
Did you kill the dummy, Scott?
But I thought I didn't. I honestly don't remember.
No.
Okay, because I definitely killed the dummy. There was a dummy in front of what's her name's house?
Toriel.
Oriel's house. Yeah, like there was a dummy in front of her house.
A dummy in front of her house.
Yeah, there was a dummy in front of her. Actually, no, it was a dummy. It was actually no, it wasn't in front of the house. It was like right before she leaves you for a little bit, and you go like wandering. There's this dummy that you can fight.
Oh yeah, I didn't fight it.
Yeah, and okay, so that means that you probably didn't get a scene that me and Omni got.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a bit. It's just like another boss fight. So when you leave Snowdin, you head east, and while you're hiding in some bushes, Undine and Papyrus have a little talk about capturing you. And that's sort of your first introduction to Undine. Everybody reveres Undine, but she wants to kill you real bad.
Yeah, she wants you dead.
Yeah, I want to talk about something really quick comparing Waterfall to Snowdin. I didn't like Snowdin overall because I felt it was too long. I felt like it sort of overstayed its welcome a bit. And I thought like every single world was going to be that length, but they're all. I think Snowden was probably the longest area that like the longest time you spent in
Yeah.
one area. So I like Waterfall a bit more, but Waterfall is probably the most gamiest part of this game. Lots of
It's
little,
true.
yeah, lots of little things you do.
Did you
Oh, go
did you
ahead.
do the side thing? Did you do the side thing in Waterfalls or did either of y'all do the side thing in Waterfalls to get the dog item?
I remember
You
having
mean
a dog
side
item.
thing? There. You
So
just
there's
literally
this.
walk up a path and it's
So
there.
there is this. So there. Okay. So yeah, well,
And
it's a
just
side
there.
thing.
Like, it's
But I
not a
mean,
side
like,
thing.
y'all played the song on the piano, opened the door, and got the item, right?
Oh yeah, I remember that part. I don't remember
Yeah, I
what the
thought
point of
that
that
was
was.
just required to continue. Like
It wasn't. No,
I was
you
using was just
definitely.
like, you do this.
You definitely can get past that without you definitely can beat the game without doing
Yeah.
that.
The
Yeah,
dog
I,
item
I,
just also
I,
sucks.
I don't remember what the point of that was.
I mean, the item kept me alive actually. The item did keep me alive, but like it did kind of suck a lot of times, right? Because
Well,
like it was RNG. You could either get you could either get a dog salad or just more like dog residue, and
Oh,
then yeah, and dog salad can either be it could either
can
be
heal
like
you
some healing items for
heal you
20.
for 6, or no, it can heal you for as low as 6 HP, Jacques. Because
Yeah.
I found that out. And
Yeah,
it can
no.
heal you for as much as like 45.
No, heal you for six, dude. It can heal you. I didn't know it could heal you for 45, but I never had more than 20. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
what was it like? But though, dude, it can heal you for 2. It can heal you for as
Oh,
low
I
as
never
2.
had that low. Okay. I
Like
never had that.
That's
freaking
hilarious.
because you can get because you can get like what I think
Problem is, too,
4,
if
3
you
or 4
use it
different things.
if
You
you
can
use
get
it in Undertale, you're just fucked.
yeah, well, yeah, you're so
if you
fucked.
just get only dog residue,
Yeah, you're fucked.
is
That's
it.
happened to me a couple times.
there's no healing because it fills
Yeah.
up your entire. By the way, for anyone that doesn't, it fills up your entire inventory.
Entire inventory and like so it was it and so and dog sandwich can either be fried tennis ball
Never got a sandwich. I only
Like-
ever got salads.
does it no it's, I'm sorry, salad, my bad.
Okay.
Yeah, dog salad can either be a fried tennis ball, or was it actual garbage,
Bone.
or a bone, and I don't think there's anything else it could be. So it could be one of those 3 things, and the bone heals you for the least. If you get bone, you got a dud. So like it was like so many times I'm in like a boss fight, right? And like I didn't have anywhere to get like healing items before that, so I just like freaking like cycled through all the dog residue until I got like 4 or 5 like dog salads, and got into the battle, and like 4 or 3 out of 5 of them were fucking bones, and just healed me for 2.
Yeah, because I mean, the benefit of it is supposed to be that you technically have an infinite source of healing,
Yeah, and I did use it for that.
and it's an infinite source of RNG healing.
Yeah. Yeah, like it
And also,
can
the game
suck.
does not really tell you anything about what the dog residue does.
No, it doesn't. You just figure it out. Like legitimately, I just fucked around and found out.
what the fuck? All right.
But
I'm reading through the the waterfalls guide just to see if there's anything we really need to discuss. The
I like the
waterfall,
little kid thing.
yeah.
No,
the-
the kid that kept smacking his face on the floor whenever he ran away. That was
Yeah,
I thought it was
I
cute.
found
thought
him
it was
annoying
cute.
at the beginning, but by the end of the waterfall, I was endeared to the little
Same.
annoying piece of shit.
Same.
Yeah, the only thing that's really worth discussing in Waterfall, unless you wanted to get really into it, is the kid, Undine, the ghost, and the dummy.
Well, you also do learn about the whole thing with that, or
like the history
Asgard or whatever.
of the.
Yeah, they start telling you about the history.
Yeah, Undine tells you pretty much all about it.
Yeah, the humans. For anybody that's curious or isn't aware, the soul is what everybody's fighting about. A monster's soul is weak compared to a human's, but if a monster is able to consume a human soul, they'll be even stronger than a human. So the humans were scared of the monsters and drove them away so that they could never even have the chance to absorb a human soul, and they would have to live underground forever, like an eternity.
Yeah, and
And this
the
world
king is trying to gather 7 of
Yeah.
the souls.
You learn
order
about
to
why he's doing
steal.
it later, which
Yeah,
Well,
but at Undine's point, you just know that he is gathering 7 souls, and that's why she wants you dead.
Yeah, and you're also told
Is
like everybody's
the
like
soul.
he's super nice. He's the greatest guy. He's a pushover. I'm sure he'll let you go no matter what. So it's all really it's again sort of like who do you trust? What do you know?
Yeah,
Everything's sort of
yeah.
unreliable.
Really, this game really did a good job at like fucking with my expectations and like pretty much misleading me in a lot of areas.
And here's where, like, for me, at this point, because of the conflicting information, I honestly just figured he must be a nice guy that is just having to make a tough decision. Like, truthfully, that was my thought at this point. Is that with how much, like, I keep hearing about how great he is and how everyone's just like, oh, you know, he's really nice and stuff like that. I'm like, there's gotta be something. Like, you know, either something changed him or, like, he's, you know, having to do something, like having to make a tough decision because of something. Like, I don't know what, but I feel like that's what's going on at this point because of the fact, like, the conflicting information, the truth has to be somewhere in the middle.
I think because I played too much Final Fantasy, I was the idea I had was like he's just lying to his people and he's actually a murderous person. But
I legitimately saw so many stories that I thought like, nah, he's not as nice as these people think. Because I've seen it before, right? Where people like revere their king, and then as soon as like they come face to face with who their king truly is, they realize he's a monster right before he betrays them. You know, and I thought that was the kind of thing that I thought was going to happen. But let's not get into that right now.
Yeah. So then, besides some of the minor NPCs, the Undine boss fight is the bigger part of it. She gives you a lot of exposition. The fight itself is interesting. You've got to do a lot of surviving. I'm assuming we all spared her.
Yeah, I spared.
Yeah,
I'll mention the bosses that I killed. I spared every other one.
I mean, I spared everybody. So that's really not even a question for me. One thing I did want to bring up as well, since we're talking, so before we leave the waterfalls, because it was so you meet the ghost guy in the waterfalls, right? Area like ghost guy again. You the second time.
Yeah. Which, by the way, did you just chill out on the floor with him?
I fucked up.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Fucked up because I did it, and then I was like, "Well, nothing's happening." And as soon as things started to change, I moved my character, and I was locked out of it. And I was like, "Well,
you just see the fucking cosmos."
Yeah, you see, I was like, "Bro, what was in that food? Like, what the?" But did you see the farm? Did y'all see the farm?
Yeah,
that's what I wanted to bring up.
I couldn't.
Oh my
the
god,
farm.
dude!
I don't know how you do that.
It's a rigged.
Oh,
it's rigged. You can't beat it. Yeah, it's bullshit.
Yeah. I spent like $30 there.
It's like, see,
are you talking about the snail races?
Yeah.
Yeah. So at the it's not, bro, because he like it was at that point, right? Because I was like I was watching
in first.
I was
always
coming in third.
I couldn't beat it.
Okay, the goal is to come in second.
Oh, okay.
I never even got to second. I couldn't make my snail go fast enough to do anything.
Yeah, same. Like my snail would always go slow, and if I pressed the button, it would go slower.
Yeah.
Because when I was looking at the trophy guide, they were like, "Yeah, you just do this method, and you can win every time."
Interesting.
I was going blind.
So, do it, but that's how I know it's not rigged. There is actually a method to win every time.
Okay, so because I had a not helpful friend watching me stream it over Discord when I was playing it, and he was like, "Yeah, just go ahead and try it again. Don't press anything." And then like I didn't press anything. He's like, "Oh well, lost $30 as well because it's fucking ass." But no, did you guys see the farm?
Yeah.
Did you guys see like did y'all get it?
You'll have to remind me.
Oh my god, dude! It was literally like it was
farm?
like. Yeah, it was literally the snail farm. It was literally like a snail like prostitution thing or something. It was fucking weird.
Is that what it was?
Like, yeah, dude. If you look at one of the snails, like pull up the picture of one of the snails. It looks like a dick and balls, and because of the pixels, it looks censored.
Oh, that's stupid. Yeah,
Yeah, and then it was like, yeah, we used to have a lot of patrons, but now we just have this one really hairy guy that comes like once a month.
I didn't know. I didn't understand that.
Yeah, like it was like some kind of like brothel.
So stupid.
Yeah, no, I didn't look at that.
Like pull up a picture, pull up a picture of the freaking snail, bro.
I'm looking at it. Yeah, I see it. It's weird. Man, I gotta sneeze, but it's not gonna come out.
Yeah, he's a dick and balls, right?
Yeah, I see it. Jeez knows.
Yeah.
After Undine, I'm just going through the guide. I didn't know you could ride the boat because I refused to backtrack. You could ride the boat and go back to one of the houses, and
I did not backtrack.
You
I did not know that. Like,
you can go to her
forward
house
was the
and
only
talk
direction.
to her.
Yeah, same.
So one of the houses is her house, and you can go back and talk to her. Going to Hotland.
The game, for the most part, does not incentivize you necessarily to backtrack.
True.
By, again, making it not super convenient.
The game doesn't incentivize you to be a pacifist, but it expects you to do that if you want the full ending.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
That's why the game's kind of a dick. We'll talk about that later when we talk more about the endings.
So you get to Hotland after either killing or sparing Undine. If you spare her, you just make her too hot in her armor and she runs away after realizing you're not gonna kill her.
Oh, I just remember something too. There was an enemy.
Or you give her a cup of water and then she
Then she looks at you. She just looks at you, just like
and
turns around and just walks away.
Like neutral, that is basically the last you'll ever see of her.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I never saw her again after that either. But I mean, I haven't. There's still more stuff I need to do. Yeah. So there's still more stuff I do need to do. So I'll probably see her when I play through that because I actually did enjoy my time with the game and I do plan on finishing that up. But there's one thing I did want to bring up. I forgot it was in a snow area. There was this one enemy, right? That's just it was so like I was playing passive, so I didn't kill anything. So I had to like freaking maneuver my way around all the like encounters. And the interesting thing about the one of these enemies, it was like a normal enemy. I only saw him once though, where essentially he was just like a weird enemy. He looked weird, he looked awkward, right? And essentially like after you get rid of all the other enemies, like the option for him is just like ditch him, right? He's like everybody ditch me, and then his option was like ditch him. And you just hit ditch him, and
I remember that. I kind of remember that.
I do not remember that because I was killing any random encounter. I pretty much killed.
Yeah, no, I spared all.
Funny.
I spared those guys.
Like the only random encounter I spared was Jerry.
Oh, Jerry? Which one was Jerry?
He was in Snowden. He was some dude that would just like tell jokes and shit. But he had like a huge ass health bar and a high defense, and I'm like, fuck this. And, like, you can automatically spare him every time, like by just choosing spare. So I'm like, all right, well, you live this time, Jerry.
Yeah, nice job, Jerry. Okay, so Hotland is another gaming area when you get into the elevator, but it has one of the more interesting characters. When you start off in Hotland, you encounter the two guards, who you will take on later, and we'll discuss in a bit. But you meet a very important NPC.
And this is another character that was very fleshed out. I did like this character.
If you do a pacifist run,
why?
For the most part, she's not that important in a neutral run.
I would say that she was. I mean, in that, like,
what
her...
did she serve? Because like, by the end of it, it's all revealed that it was all her doing anyway.
Yeah.
Like if she just didn't do anything, you would have just walked through Hotland and been okay without any issues.
That's the whole point. Is like,
it was like, so what was like? How important was she really? When literally, she was actually a self-insert character.
Yeah,
like 100%.
That's the whole point. Is like
it's not right, but she's not actually important then. Like,
right,
she's just a self-insert.
It's really weird because her most of the NPCs, if you're looking at it through that lens, aren't really important in the end. But for Hotland, she is somebody who gets fleshed out a lot.
Yeah, she gets fleshed out quite a bit.
At least with like Undine, the point is that you do have to get past her in order to continue your journey. With Papyrus, he is the guard of that area. You do have to get past him. Her, if she didn't do anything, if she didn't want to just self-insert because she was fangirling, then it wouldn't be like you would have had to do nothing and just walked up to the final area of the game with no issues.
and if that's the case,
She
then it's
solves a problem that she herself creates in order.
I mean, that doesn't make
cause-
that doesn't make her a not fleshed out character. That doesn't make
Yeah.
her a not fleshed out character. It doesn't make her a not interesting character.
yeah.
That's just it's a part of her character because
I just
essentially
find her not an
she's
important character.
like
She is arguably the most important character in Hotland because
Yeah,
she pushes
because
herself in your way.
she's the one that drops that pushes like the plot forward in that way.
Yeah.
Because like essentially like you was saying, if she wasn't
push
there,
forward.
if she wasn't there, you wouldn't have had a game. Like at that point,
You
like
would have just
you
walked
would
to the
have
elevator and
exactly.
then continue
Exactly.
on.
Exactly.
Castle.
Excellent gameplay, right? Exactly, right? That was the that was the thing. Like he
The thing though is a plot is supposed to be there to give more of a reason for a character fighting you other than they wanted to self-insert.
Yeah.
like there was more hold on, there was more of a reason. There was more of a reason because she goes into no hold on. There was more of a reason because she goes into how the fact that like she felt like she like before she met the main character, before she met you, she felt useless. She felt like a fuck up, and like helping you, like or quote unquote helping you, made her for the first time
Not
feel
mentioned that in
useful.
my run at all.
Oh yeah, see, she did mention that in my run. Like helping
She
made her
does.
made her for the first time feel like she was actually helpful to
In-
someone.
In my run, she just talks about being like wanting a friend and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, but at the end, she's like, before she sends you up, she's like, you made me feel better about myself. But here's the thing.
Hold on. Well, no. Give me a second. Did you kill the robot?
No.
Omni, did you kill the robot?
I think I did.
Because I did, and she did not tell me any of that. She just was like, "Oh, I see. Yeah, I can always build another one." And then that was pretty much like she's just like, "Oh, well, if you go up the elevator, like you'll get to them and stuff," and that was it.
No, so no. See the thing, she tells you that before you even fight him.
I do not get me
No.
started on Undertale. Well,
Like,
August,
she just calls you. She calls you while you're walking around like the area, and she called me while I was walking around the area and told me that.
I
Random
want.
texting just got fucking annoying.
Yeah, well, again, that's
I
part of
found
that's part of her.
I found the thing
That's
about
part
her
of her thing
raging.
is she's like annoying. But
Yeah.
here's the thing: you can't really talk about Dr. Alphys unless you bring up Metatron.
Yeah, I like the Metatron boss fight, by the way. Like it was hard, but I liked that boss fight.
Yeah.
That was like the music slapped. And it had some really interesting gameplay mechanics. It was hard as fuck. I probably spent the most time on that boss fight.
I had to kill
I
things to level up to
Yeah,
get
I
to
did
that
not
boss
like
fight.
his final boss fight was the point where I had to start killing him. Or he was the first boss I had to kill because I'm like, I cannot beat this.
Yeah.
Like it is literally not something I can do with my skill level.
Well,
at bullet hells.
let me address chat real quick. August, if we did a game club where this month we played Undertale, and we all basically went in blind. So we're sort of we're like going through the game and discussing our experiences as we went through the game. So like a lot of the connection from Alphys to Sans and the Royal, I didn't even see the Royal Scientist. I don't know anything about the Royal Scientist because I didn't see it in my playthrough. But apparently they're super important. But so we're just sort of going through what was presented.
The average player will never know.
I did pacifist.
Only Jock did pacifist.
Yeah, because the average player for their first playthrough is honestly going to get the neutral ending.
Yeah. The Hotland and you get from this more. It's exposition without being force fed to you. But
I liked Metatron.
Yeah, Metatron is interesting.
I like the character. I love that. I like
him a lot more than Alphys. Like I hated her.
Yeah.
I didn't hate her.
I found her
didn't hate her.
Annoying and unlikable.
I found her annoying, but I also found her. I found her annoying, but I also found her a little bit endearing. And one of the things I really did enjoy was like seeing her like flame with people online about like this anime that she liked. It's the it was just like
cutie. What was it? Because like it's right.
Or Cutie Kiss something.
Yeah, she has to kiss somebody to take their memories, and then she realizes she can't. She always like spoils the whole thing for you. I'm like, I've met people like this. This is
Yeah.
It was like it was. She was annoying, but it was also kind of endearing
Mew
because I've
Mew
met
Kissy
people
Cutie.
like
August
that.
said
Yeah.
Mew Mew Kissy
Oh,
Cutie.
Yeah, Missy B. Yeah, it was honestly like I honestly did enjoy it. Like her like especially when she was like raging about people saying people think was it like well, hold on, people think that was it Mew Mew Kissy Cutie 2 is better than Mew Mew Kissy Cutie 1.
Yeah.
Like people like people are crazy. Lol. like you know it's just something along those lines, right? It was very like accurate in the way she was depicted as just this like super feral like introvert like socially feral
I would
introvert.
have liked something to come from her crush on Undine, but
I
that was
think
also
there,
something that just
I think
never-
there is again, but it's like the true. You have to do the true pacifist and get the
Maybe,
epilogue and all that. I
like,
read
again,
the wiki.
I
It's
I didn't
wild.
get jack shit for that. Like
Yeah.
for me, like honestly, for me, for the neutral ending, this is the last time she's ever even mentioned.
Yep. I'll tell you
Like
this, Scott, right now.
the ending itself doesn't even mention her. That's how unimportant she is.
Well, yeah, and I'll tell you all. You're supposed to spare not just everybody, but all the NPCs, and then follow through with them, because at the end there's like a big fight where they're all involved, and they all come back in various ways to do various things. It's
but
insane
again-
how much the real ending is different from the neutral ending.
Right, but
I'm not gonna do it though.
like again, 99% of players are gonna get the neutral ending their first playthrough.
So speaking of which, can we talk about
Like,
the
there's
guards?
just no way around.
Yeah, it's
Can we
about
talk about
time.
the-
I'll let you guys talk about the guards. You guys
I
are
just
way
get
party for the guards.
I just don't
Fun
know how you were supposed to
figure it
know.
out.
I figured it out.
It's fun figuring it out.
Yeah.
I cause like it was like polished armor. I was I tried to polish one dude's armor. It's like wait, his armor's like and it didn't work right, and it was like his armor's polished and stuff. I was like, all right, I did die against. I died a lot. I was doing passive. So and I looked at the other guy and they said his armor was like stuffy and stuff. Right? I was like, okay, polish his armor, right? Like fix his armor. And then he's like, oh, it's getting like
He's like,
something's
"Son in
changing
here.
Yeah.
I need to take this off.
It is
Yeah, right.
just his chest.
Oh.
And then the other was like,
You have to whisper in the other dude's ear.
As
The
soon
beach
as I
studios,
saw that,
yeah.
that's when I realized what was happening. I was like, they can't really be doing this, can they?
Yeah, and then they went and got ice cream together.
yeah.
And
Yeah,
you could
I
still
did
choose
love
to
that.
kill him at that point.
Yeah, you could.
Like, if you're that much of a dick, you can. That's how it is with pretty much most of the characters. Is, at least for some of the bosses, like, even once they go yellow, you can still choose to then kill them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can be like, oh, look, they're gonna go out on a date, die.
Kill or be killed.
But
Yeah.
no, like,
Honestly, dude, imagine how bad. By the way, with Undine, imagine how fucked up would it be for you to like grab the water and walk up to her, look at dead in the eyes, and start drinking it.
I didn't even know. I saw that as an option. I was like, if I do that, there's no way I'll be able to unsave and do it again. Like, I'm not
No.
gonna go through that whole fight again.
it was too much of a pain.
yeah.
I'm like, I'm gonna save her. And we'll just move on. Like, although now getting neutral ending, maybe I shouldn't have.
You know,
Like, I don't know. Like,
you go through Hotland, you meet the gay guards, the guards in love. I guess rather than calling them the gay
They're
guards, the
happy.
guards in love.
I mean, they are
Um,
happy.
Yeah, I mean they're happy and they're gay.
They're just the old traditional sense.
The,
Yeah.
the other boss was the spider. Man, the spider's whooping my ass.
By the way,
Dude, that
did
spider
you-
fight,
did
bro.
either of you get the alternate ending to that fight?
Alternate ending to that fight?
Oh,
Like what?
So
August said
if
you can
bought
one-hit KO after they're all yellow. That's
Oh,
wild.
if
I didn't know
you
that.
bought something from the
something
spider
at
whip
the
early in the
Cyber
game?
Bake sale at the beginning of the game.
I did.
I got it.
Yeah, they will call and do it.
And
I
protect
did
you.
not.
Thank God. I was about to get my ass whooped. I was about to
You
get my
gave
ass whooped. bro. I did. Thank God I
350
did.
coins to a dog, but you couldn't
Bro,
buy a
I
spider
needed the
donut
money-
for
I
10.
needed money for the dog, so I had to
That's-
save everything I could get.
Jesus.
So because of that, I did not. So you have to survive her pet 3 times, which randomly pops up.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
they
those fights
still
were
call
annoying.
anyway. But that fight was one of the ones where I'm like, I died so many times to that
Yeah.
stupid fight because the gimmick sucked.
I died. What was it? I died. like more to Metron or
Yeah, Metaton. I died. I died once with the spider. Her name is Muffet.
He was
I'm reading now.
definitely the hardest boss for me. I definitely died to him more than I died to anybody else.
But I will say I spared the spiders. It was a pain in the ass. And the
Yeah.
reason I ended up still sparing them was it takes about as long to kill them as it does for you to dodge the pet 3 times anyway, and it ends the fight automatically. So I'm like, either you're gonna die or the pet's gonna happen 3 times and I'm gonna win. Like, one way or another, this fight's ending.
I don't really feel like going over every single Metaton's fights because they're so involved.
No,
but I
they're
didn't.
really cool.
Yeah.
And they do give you hints at things for later. Which, by the way, if you're doing a genocide route, Metaton's boss fight is different when you get to the final form. Because he determines that you are a danger to humanity and wants you dead.
Humanity or monster kind?
Everybody.
Yeah, he deems you a threat basically to existence and
Oh,
wants
okay.
you dead. Like, so he has a different form because he wants you dead.
From what I read in the wiki, is like he looks mostly the same except he has a gun on his hand, or he has a gun.
Okay.
I don't remember.
I just know it's a different form and it's called a different name.
He is different. He has he's more aggressive attacks.
But none of us got that because obviously none of us were going. I don't think anyone would get the genocide ending on their first playthrough either.
Yeah.
I very much tried to get
Unless
that ending.
you just loved, like you were just, I don't want to talk to anything. Let's just kill everything. These are all just nothing, and I can kill them.
Well, you also have. It's not just. Do you know how to get the genocide ending, Omni?
Yeah, at least 16 enemies on every world, and you kill every boss.
Yeah, because you have to kill basically everything.
Yeah.
Because the game will tell you like there's nothing else around or whatever.
August said, I don't know what you're saying false to. He actually dies in one hit. Any boss fight you see is fan made. I don't know what that means.
I don't know.
Or
Yeah.
context. But
Yeah,
is there anything else that you want to discuss in Hotlands? I mean, there's things to discuss, but overall.
I mean, no, it was fine. Like,
Oh, regarding Metaton and genocide, we never did it. I probably never will.
yeah, I mean, I wasn't.
I think he looks the same. Okay.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, there was just an okay area. Like, some of the puzzles were interesting, but
I think my favorite like puzzles were probably honestly the puzzles they were stimulating at the time that I was like doing the puzzle, but after they were done I didn't really think too much about them afterwards.
which, by the way, Metatron is my second favorite character of the game.
Yeah, I like the poses he
Sucks that I
does
had
while
to
you're
kill
fighting him.
I just literally could not beat that boss fight without killing him. Like, it was not possible with my skill level at bullet hells.
Yeah, I also suck at bullet hells, but yeah.
Well, we kind of discussed it on accident, but Metaton is actually part of the core, which is after Hotland. The only thing really that I wanted to discuss from the core was the talk that you have with Sans, which we kind of went over earlier. This is where this is like the second to last time you see Sans, depending on your ending. He just pulls you to the side and he's like, "I would have put you in the ground." I'm like, calm down,
where
dude.
he tries to be like the cool badass character of like, yeah, I'm so powerful, I would have just murdered your ass in a second. But I promised this woman that laughed about bad jokes that I wouldn't.
I don't think he actually said that. Like, he still seemed rather aloof and like.
No, he literally says that to you. He's like, you would have been dead.
He said you would have been dead, but it wasn't. It didn't. I didn't take it as I would have killed you. I would have taken it as I wouldn't have done anything to help you.
Oh no,
I took it as a threat. I took it as an ominous threat.
Yeah, he was very much threatening you. Like,
so I took it.
That was straight up. And like, if someone's just like, "Hey, Jacques, you know what? If I didn't promise this woman, you'd be dead right now."
So, like, I get what you're saying. I definitely get what you're saying, but I was taking it in the sense that, like, yeah, if he didn't help me, something else probably would have also killed me. Kind of, idea, right?
I took it as a threat.
I feel that it was very much intended, and I took it as
possibly, yeah.
Like, he was just straight up threatening you.
But
But
I
what was it?
promised this woman that's why
Yeah,
you're
also-
alive.
we also know that that woman. All know that that woman was what's her name?
Toriel.
L'Oreal.
Poria.
Yeah.
Yeah, Poria. Yeah.
This is where it sort of get, and I was really scared because I killed Toriel. I was like, I wonder how he's gonna feel when he finds out that I killed Toriel.
Yeah, I didn't.
I
so
thought,
I didn't
yeah.
have to worry
So,
about
so
that.
you understand, like,
Yeah, I didn't.
and I was
I
thinking,
didn't worry about it.
like, oh, is this where I get the fight? Is this where I get the music? Like, what's gonna happen?
Nope.
But I'll tell you, if you're going through the neutral route and you did kill Toriel,
Sans is a nothing character.
there isn't any kind of payoff for that. He still doesn't come through.
I mean, he doesn't. There's no way for him to know the door's locked.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, with the neutral route, there's not a payoff for like any character for the most part.
Yeah, it's very
Like there's no payoff for anything, which I feel is a
I feel
downside.
this-
ironically
downside.
though. You
I
get
do
a
feel like-
you get a
I
payoff
do
for
feel like
Flowey.
I enjoyed this game. I enjoyed this game
Yeah.
a lot more than you guys did by playing the passive route.
Right, but you also have to remember you
Well,
knew
I'm-
about a passive route essentially.
I'm middle of the road compared to you and Scott. Scott is definitely further on, like the character, like not being very influenced by the characters. I got into it. I liked them. I can't remember where exactly it was. I did get emotional. It didn't make me shed tears. I would have, I think, if I had been closer to the characters, but I can't remember where it was.
I mean, like I got emotional during like the whole backstory of the king and stuff like that, and you know,
Yeah,
like,
I got
the
emotional
things
through
that
a
he's
few
doing.
things.
But it wasn't enough to shed tears. But I'm like, oh yeah, I mean,
I got
I get it,
emotional.
stuff
I got
like that.
emotional with like Toriel, like when I got emotional when
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't get
like when I was leaving, like when I was leaving, she's telling me like I can't return and stuff, and I was like, this is a little bit emotional, not too emotional.
I felt bad for her because I put her in the ground, but
Yeah, yeah. That was really-
Actually, that'll be interesting with the neutral ending. How that goes, well, we'll have to compare because I got a probably different neutral ending than you, Omni.
yeah, because she's dead in mine.
Yeah.
So you get through Hotland.
By the way, the core is the last trophy you need for the platinum. For anyone that is curious, like you do not have to beat the game.
Oh, interesting.
You get through the core
Interesting.
after you defeat Metaton, one way or another, and you reach New Home, is what I'm finding that it's called. And New
Yes.
Home is where you run into the replica of Toriel's house. You do a bit of
Yeah.
wandering. You get
Yeah, that's
more.
why
I think Toriel's house is a replica of that.
It's-
Yeah.
No, I think it's the other way around.
You-
But like no, because like she wait, because wait, okay.
The new house.
I see. I don't know. The reason why I said okay. The reason why I was saying that, right? Because we do know, like, you know, Toriel is the queen.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I
and
always saw it as like the king.
And I thought she,
after
like, basically-
knowing that she went off to, you know, like he knows she's in the ruins and stuff. I saw it as he built this house and stuff like that, and that's why it had the specific flowers that he's cultivating later and stuff like that all
And-
throughout it.
and
you
that-
see, I thought that she fled, like she fled and made like basically a replica of her old home, so she can feel more at home.
I'm gonna say I think it's kind of up for interpretation, but the name of the level is called New Home, so it could be argued that the king made a new home. And then I think the yellow flowers are sort of a tether between the king and the queen, because the backstory is that their son wanted to, like their human son, I think, wanted to see the flowers and grow those flowers, but they couldn't, and so they dedicated a whole bunch of their time to researching these flowers and getting them to grow. I guess the king
Yeah,
just had more
which-
luck than the queen did.
Yeah, which I mean, when you get to New Home is also when you find out the whole backstory, basically, of the game, as far as the king and why everything's kind of happening.
Yeah,
And
Like
you do
why
learn he
the
is
king wants
murdering
your
people.
soul. Oh yeah, he straight up murdered 6 children.
oh yeah, he did
Do
straight up
not-
murder children.
Do not forget, like this dude literally murdered 6 children.
Yeah,
That is
but we don't know that they were
not-
children, but we know they were humans. We don't know they were all children
I thought
though.
They were all children.
I thought they were all children
Uh,
too.
I'm pretty sure
you
that's
assume that
also
they're all
why
children because
Toriel
you're a
was-
child.
I'm pretty sure that's why Toriel was also, you know,
Which-
had seen this before with the other children. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that none of them were children, but I don't know if all seven, all like
confident
like
because
6 of them were all children.
I'm pretty confident it's implied that they were all children.
I thought they were too. But regardless,
Um,
before you
but
get to the
either
king
way,
fight,
he's killed 6 people.
yeah,
Like, so
before
he
you
is
get to the
not completely
king,
innocent.
No, he is not.
there is one last event, and that is the encounter with Sans, which apparently is different depending on the ending. He just talked to me and was like,
Yep.
You better be glad. Like, he didn't fight me, but he kind of tried to guilt trip me and then let me go on. What about you guys?
That's when he explained. That's also when he explains the leveling system.
Yeah, the
When
gloves
he
and all that
explains,
stuff.
like the whole by killing,
Yeah,
you gain EXP, which is
Extermination
eradication points or whatever. And it's like,
and
that's the part that I felt was kind of too heavy-handed with the message.
And
Gonna be
love
honest.
was
I kind of see what you mean by that. Yeah, love was like
the
level of
message-
violence. Level of violence.
level of violence. Yeah.
And it's just, I felt like
Basically, a
that
child
came
fell down
across
the aisle, and human became.
as way
good
too
friends, so-
heavy-handed.
Oh,
with the message
I'm
versus,
gonna be reading so chat.
Yeah.
everything else that we had been building up through with just the gameplay features.
I'll just sort of recap the king's story real quick. So a child fell down, and then Azrael and the human became good friends. So Kara manipulated them into killing them with the buttercups and taking their soul to put their body in the overworld. Both of them died, and Azrael's ashes were scattered across the flowers, making him Flowey, but he didn't have a soul. Which one is
I did
Kara?
not know any of that.
I did not know that either.
I knew no.
I still have more to play though. Maybe
the-
I would have learned that if maybe I learned that.
think in the
No, wait. Even in the neutral route, what I do know is that a child fell into their world. They raised it. It became friends with their monster son.
Right,
The child died.
Flowers when it died. Well, it was about to die.
Yeah, well,
Wanted to see the flowers.
the child got
passed away
sick.
the next day.
And I think that's important because I didn't know that got manipulated into killing. So that adds another layer. But the child got sick. They took the body back to the humans, and after the monster absorbed the soul.
Well, hold on. They took the body back to the humans. The humans thought that
the monster killed the human.
The kid, so they attacked him. He fled.
And he did nothing. And
he
not-
just fled.
He just
back
took the abuse, and the exhaustion killed him. Well, the combination.
Came back and passed away after coming back, and then they spread his ashes. That was all I know. Like, that is straight up all the neutral ending tells you.
Yeah. In the wiki, I learned that Flowey is Azrael. Spoiler, I guess.
that's a spoiler.
Jock should know that.
No, see, you gotta remember, I
haven't
didn't do the extra stuff yet. Like, I got credits, and then I was like, okay, I'm too tired. I can't continue playing more because that's why I was kind of a little bit late. I was taking a nap.
Whoever did the Pastor's Run would know everything if they had watched the tapes in the True Lab. I don't know what the True Lab is.
He hasn't gotten.
I haven't gotten there yet.
Credits, so he hasn't gotten there yet.
Yeah.
But yeah. Again, neutral ending. You don't know any of that. Like, it.
No, you know some of that.
Or as far as you don't know anything about Flowey's origin or anything like that.
Yeah, you don't know that, and you don't know the buttercups. I don't know why that word's standing out to me.
Yeah,
but you get past Sans one way or another, and then you encounter the king. And the king seems like a big, happy, doofy guy, but immediately he's like,
he really has kind eyes, and he turns around, he's like, oh.
Well, I mean, he was kind of like it was very much a all right. I see. Like, I would like to, for us to just go, like, have tea and stuff like that, but we both know why, like...
Yeah, we both know what we're here for, right?
And honestly... And I want to, kill you and stuff.
That part...
Like...
That part really did make me conflicted, right? I was like, oh, he is genuinely a nice dude. I was not expecting him like someone to turn around looking exactly like what's her name? And I'm really bad with names. Yeah, I'm really bad with names. I just played the start of this game yesterday. I'm sorry, but what was it?
And we've also finished it like 8 times.
Yeah, I know. But like it'll stick. But I'm just always been really bad with names, bro. But anyways, Ariel. He looks like her, and that's when I realized, oh shit, that so she that's her husband, which is why she was so like invested in not leaving, even to the point of killing you.
The point of the game you're really supposed to put 2 and 2 together, because the game won't tell you that until the
There's a lot of subtext.
ending, but there's a lot
Yeah.
of subtext, which I like.
But-
I like the fact that you know, it's up to you to put that together.
And then was it? But the thing that's interesting was like when the fight starts, right? Like he immediately puts on that helmet and it's like really menacing, and he destroys the mercy bar. And I was like, that's one thing that guy was like, holy shit, bro!
Yeah,
Like,
this is ending one way or another.
Which, by the way, fun fact: did either of you eat the pie in front of him?
no,
I ate the pie a long time ago. That shit was
So
gone.
if you eat the pie in front of him, it lowers his attack and defense.
That's funny.
Oh shit! What? Oh
Because
god.
he knows the pie.
Yeah.
He recognizes it.
All right, I wanna pause
yeah.
here and I wanna organize the conversation real quick. What I would like to do is I want to tell my version of the ending, and then I want to hear Scott's version of the ending, and then I want to hear Jock's, because I think I probably had the most. Again, because I killed some kind of important characters, I probably have the least to discuss, and I'm gonna go through real quick, and then Scott can mention his differences and his thoughts, and then we can go to Jock, because Jock might have the biggest difference. I have a feeling. He's
Yeah, I
gonna
would
have the biggest
imagine
difference.
Jock probably does have the biggest.
So Asgore begins the fight. He destroys the Mercy Bar. You go through a bunch of new attacks that you haven't seen before. I had to fight him a couple times to sort of learn what everything was. But once you do defeat him, you can either spare him or kill him. I spared him, and Flowey showed up stabbing him in the back, and I was like, what the fuck is happening? And then Flowey turned into this terrible, nightmarish monster. And that fight took me like 8-9 tries to get through. Luckily, there was some good save points, but you absorb the souls of the humans one by one, and once you defeat this monster, it reverts back to Flowey, and you can either choose to kill or spare Flowey. If you choose to spare Flowey, you have to do it a couple times, and Flowey's just confused. I did that, and Flowey says, "You know what? I don't understand. Can you, if you really want this to make sense for me, go through again and don't kill anybody." And then the game goes back to the main menu, and you can choose to start a new game. And I guess I'm supposed to do a true pacifist run at that point. That was my ending.
Oh, okay.
Scott.
So mine, same with the Asgore and all that, like, which, yeah, I saved him. Like, I did mercy on him, and then Flowey, of course, stabs through. Does the bullshit fight, because that fight fucking sucks ass. And then, yeah, I killed Flowey's ass.
Oh, did you? You straight up murdered Flowey?
Oh, I was like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Fuck Flowey. Yeah, no, I killed Flowey's ass.
Bro, I wanted to kill Flowey.
So, if you kill Flowey, and this is why so it's very interesting, because I'm curious what Omni's ending would have been had he killed Flowey. Because if you kill Flowey, what happens is that Toriel now comes back to rule as queen. So I'm curious what would have happened when Toriel's dead.
I would have assumed that I would have just left, and my ending would have ended there.
Yeah, but Toriel comes back to rule as queen after you leave. And then Undine actually betrays her and does a coup against her.
Oh, yeah.
And sends her to, banishes her essentially to the ruins. And takes over the entirety of the monster realm, like the underground, and kills every human that comes down there. And, like, all the monsters get very aggressive against humans and say, fuck, humans, and just decide to murder anything that comes down there at that point. Under her rule.
I forgot to mention that. I did get a slight, some epilogue text. My epilogue text was Undine became the ruler, straight up, and she's decided she wants to murder every human, and she's actively trying to find a way to enter the human realm.
Okay, so you still get the same, it's just without the Toriel taking over and getting then betrayed by Undine.
Yeah, and she's actively
so I'm curious
trying
what
to
happens
invade.
if you kill Undine, because then who takes, does Toriel not, get overthrown then and everything's okay because she's now not going to hurt humans?
Maybe.
I don't know if I'm going to play this game enough to get all these endings, but I am curious.
At the same time, I'm also like, well, fuck the neutral ending. If all that's going to happen is, yep, the monsters now want to kill people, and I'm like, bitch, I saved, I let this woman live. What does she have against the humans? I didn't kill the fucking king. I spared him. Flowey killed his ass.
So the thing is, you got to realize that they don't know what the fuck happened to the king. Like they straight up don't know what happened to the king because like it's also said in my epilogue.
Like it's fucking bullshit.
All right.
That,
Yeah. So
like
we'll,
the only ending the neutral can get essentially is that the monsters become evil. Have a nice day. Fuck you.
yeah, it's
So-
very video gamey in that it's saying like if you like this is the ending, unless like if you want a better ending, play it again, which is bullshit. But I mean, it's a video game thing. But I like to hear Jock's ending.
So my ending, right? Like after I fought the king, Forrest Flowey shows up and kills the king, and then freaking like I don't know, like this may have happened for Omni. I don't know how this happened for you. The game shut itself off.
that happened to me a
Like,
couple times.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. It's a meta thing. Like,
Yeah, I know it's a meta thing, right? And legitimately, bro,
no matter what you're doing.
yeah, I thought my game crashed, bro. Cause literally just went back to my freaking like home screen, right? And I was like, what the fuck? And I said, okay, I'm going to like do something else. And then, like again, one of my friends, one of my friends was watching over Discord. Again, didn't really give any advice to me. They were just like, play the game. And they were like, bro, why don't you like open the game back up? And I'm like, all right. I said, well, there's probably something like I didn't question them any further. I just figured automatically like, okay, there might be something like more, like to it closing. And immediately while the game like starts up, it just starts glitching out. And then like it goes into this like fight with Flowey, who just looks freaking monstrous at this point.
In your
and
ending, did Flowey kill the king?
yes,
Okay.
yes.
I think Flowey always kills the king apparently.
Well, unless you kill him, I guess. None of us chose to kill him.
Yeah,
But
true,
like,
like then Flowey just probably is like, I knew you would or something like that.
yeah. So then Flowey like I fight Flowey and I wanted to kill Flowey, but I chose to give him mercy.
Well, I mean, you kind of had to for your ending.
Yeah, because for my ending, right? So like I
get all the way to the fucking end. Of
literally every
run and
right,
ruin it.
right. So freaking I like in every single time he there was like what do you mean? I'm just gonna kill people again. Like I was thinking about something. Man, he's fucking right. I should kill his fucking ass right now. But I said no. It's the pacifist run. I have to let him live. And I let him live, right? And then so he's like, you know what? Maybe there's something we can, like maybe we're some no. I get the epilogue, and the epilogue is essentially like the king has disappeared. No one knows where he's at. The queen has came back and she's taken over the kingdom. And like it's Sans who calls me, and I'm talking to Sans and Papyrus, and or they're messaging me, or I guess, and they're telling me what's going on. And like Udine now like freaking lives with Sand and Papyrus. She sleeps on their fucking couch.
That's so stupid.
Freaking like she's like mad. She's like mad at me because she feels like because she lost her job, so she kind of blames me for losing her job. But she like but she's mad and she like works at like freaking Sand's like hot dog fucking stand.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
pretty
the
sure
hot
they
dog
say
stand.
illegal. They say illegal hot dog stand, by the way. like she works there and stuff, and like and the queen has forbade like killing of humans and stuff, and there seems to be have some further issues, but they did not elaborate. But there seem to be some further issues after everything happened, and like the world is kind of like into chaos, and the queen is trying to keep it together.
Yeah, which I know that there's at least like 2 or 3 more bosses you have to do and stuff like that.
So
But
Yeah.
there is more to the game, obviously, and then there's the genocide run, and I think the genocide run is when you fight Sans and get the music and all that. But
Yeah, that's when you fight Sans and get the music.
something you said
By the
way earlier in the discussion, I was waiting until now to bring it up. You remember when you said that you killed Toriel and then you restarted the game and Flowey called you out on it?
Yes.
Apparently, there are characters or NPCs in this game, I think Sans is probably the most prevalent, who are like time travelers or dimension hoppers, and that's sort of the explanation for why they'll remember you doing things differently, and they'll like call you out and sort of say, why are you I remember what you did, where are you going to try to do things
See, I think that's
differently,
why,
things like
if I
that.
remember correctly, if you do a genocide run, it completely ruins any other playthrough you ever do.
Yeah.
Because they remember it, so you can never do like a pacifist run or anything else ever again.
The thing specific with Flowey though is like Flowey insinuates that he has like the same kind of ability to manipulate save states, because like what he does is like when he's fighting you, he says like, I've deleted all your save states, like you're not gonna, like you can't, like, you know, you're stuck on it, I'm gonna sit here and want to murder you over and over again, and like you know, like
I mean,
for my
he
entertainment.
literally saves and reloads save states to kill you over and over again.
Yes.
That's the purpose, but
So he actually is manipulating save states.
He's become God.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, almost.
Yeah, until
He had
the
to
other
actually get the
souls.
seventh soul
Yeah.
in order to become God, but he was close enough to a god.
His hubris and his thirst for like punishing you, his sadism, were his undoing. I'm reading the end of the genocide run just so we can get some coverage on that. You fight Sans in a super hard fight. You talk to Asgore in the Field of Flowers. He'll be dealt a vulnerable by Flowey. Then you'll kill Flowey and see what you've become. And here's the thing that's different. Reloading the game will give you a 10-minute black screen with the sound of wind until eventually you will address you, asking if you think you are above consequences. If you want to play again, you will have to agree to give her your soul, and it will alter your future playthroughs. So that's the end of the genocide run and the follow-up. And that's Undertale.
By the way, who will sit there for 10 fucking minutes on that screen?
I sat for 5 minutes waiting for Cyberpunk, so I can't. Like, there are fans will do wild stuff.
Which, by the way, I'm surprised no one called me out on that.
Oh, fucking yeah! His ass sat there for his ass sat there for an hour.
Oh, watching the yeah.
But the difference is, like, it was a fucking black screen apparently with just the sound of wind for 10 minutes, which is a big difference than the character telling you like wait here and then going away.
But an hour, Scott.
It was entertaining.
Well,
they had
I wasn't
good writing.
originally going to wait an hour. I was just kind of like, they kept giving me unique dialogue, so I'm like, how much unique dialogue is there? Because then I just got curious. Because I'm like, all right, well, how much is there? Like,
fair.
So,
for the most part, I don't have an issue with the writing in this game.
I think the writing was pretty good.
My issues come in with the EXP thing being like, oh, like, with it having to be told to you that,
I doesn't like it when games are being full of themselves.
No, Jacques, I literally, with it being told to you, like being like, oh, EXP is, you know, execution points and stuff, instead of like, well, yeah, the game at the beginning was trying to tell you there's other ways to not kill things. So like, you were already through a gameplay perspective showing us what you want us to do, essentially.
I wish that you would have gotten XP
like,
for talking to people.
Even if it was just, or
because
less for sparing them, but not like, but still something.
In my head,
or maybe give you more defense.
Yeah,
instead of health.
Oh yeah, like raise your like your mental fortitude or something. The reason for that is because I think the game incentivized killing more than it did sparing, because it gave you XP and money. And then, like I said in the very beginning, you don't get money or XP. Later on, as you get through sparing people,
you get money.
But early on, you get nothing.
And that's because I think the game would be literally unbeatable if they didn't give you at least money.
Yeah, and
because you have to be able to buy healing items. Like,
there's only a few you can get that don't cost money, and unless you're just really good at the game, you're gonna get hit.
Yeah, but like I said, I just feel like having them tell you, oh, this is execution points, and that, you know, it's level of violence. It's like, it felt too heavy-handed at that point.
I do kind of see what you mean.
I feel like you were already telling us through a gameplay perspective, and even Flowey, by sparing Flowey, it told you essentially what it wanted you to do. You know, okay, so now go back through and spare everyone. So it kind of, and it, like, I feel like the message is better when it's that subtlety.
I will say this though, they
You
did
know,
have
when
that
you're
one
learning
line.
the gameplay, not, and it does it with a lot of other things. Just that one aspect, they're like, we're gonna.
They did have that one
spell it out
line
for you.
They did have that one line that like it was kind of cheesy, but I did like it. But he did have that one line where it's like instead of accruing like love, like the acronym for the level of violence thing, you've gained like love, like people care about you, people actually people actually like you because you're actually a good person.
We didn't get that because we
it was
weren't.
cheesy.
We murdered people. I
Oh,
murdered
right.
Torio.
Yeah.
I murdered Torio. So I'm definitely the worst
Yeah,
of the three of
I
us.
at least didn't do that. Like,
Yeah, and I killed Doggo too.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
you monster.
I definitely had a level of violence there.
No,
Yeah,
like-
I think in terms of
Hey,
gameplay,
other
two
than-
things should have changed. They shouldn't have been so incentivizing to make killing better than sparing, and they should have been more overt and letting you know if you do decide to spare, things are going to be much harder. And that's like your clue into it being hard mode because you don't level up. You have 20 HP for the rest of the game, which kudos, Jock. That was not an easy thing to do.
No,
Yeah, it was hard.
From
It was hard as
it's
shit.
like, and I feel like I said before at the beginning, like 99% of people on their first playthrough are going to get the neutral ending because you're going to kill something.
Yeah.
Like, just in general, the mindset. If you know nothing of this game, you're going to kill something.
Yeah, it's just a video game. Why wouldn't you?
So, like, I feel that the ending that you get for neutral just kind of sucks ass for the one that everyone's gonna get, because the game's really banking.
I do feel like
second playthrough.
Here's the thing, that's the thing. I do feel like that, like from what you guys have told me, that the neutral like playthrough should have been more rewarding.
I feel like it should have been, how should I put it, somewhat rewarding, like more rewarding than it was, but want you to still go back and play through. Like, you know, because it's like, oh, well, could you have spared everyone? You know, like, yeah, because I think all it needed to have was, I would have been okay with just Toriel comes back and now, like, you know, no one's trying to go up and kill anyone, but, you know, they're going to take care of the humans and stuff that come down and not try to murder them.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's
Like,
honestly,
that
you
would've
only
been
really get that on a
and,
you only really get that on a passive run if you don't do the extra stuff.
and it's like, versus, whereas in this situation, it's just a matter of like, nope, everything's fucked up because you killed one thing one time. Sorry. Like, and it's like,
Yeah.
it's kind of a dick move. And then the game's just like, oh,
We
but you
forgot
play
the.
through the game again without, you know, on essentially hard mode. And I feel like it very much, how should I put it? It puts a lot of hope on you then wanting to play through the whole game again on basically a challenge run in order to get the real ending. And I just don't know how many people are actually going to bother.
I kind of feel you on that because honestly, playing the game the way I did, I do honestly feel like this was a really great game. I really did enjoy like the characters and like the and the story and how they wrote everything. But again, I played it in the way that they kind of wanted you to see everything.
Right. And the other thing is too, you know, you get to the end, you get this kind of crappy ending, and then it's like, do it again though, this other way that's much harder, and then it's like, do I really want to though? I'll just Google it. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I'll just watch a YouTube video. Like, I'm not gonna play.
By the way, we forgot to. We forgot to mention. So yeah, if you forget, like, if you kill the dummy at the beginning, like me and Omni did, the dummy's the only thing that doesn't count, by the way. So, but like, if you kill the dummy, when you're in the sewers later, you come across his brother, and if you, like I did, just like ignore it or walk off, he's like, hey, where are you going? You know, I know what you did. You killed my brother. and he comes to you for revenge. Huh?
He attacks you no matter what.
Really? Because he was.
For us
What?
specifically, he
He
said,
was-
specifically, you killed my brother. That's why I'm here.
Yeah.
No, it's just a line of dialogue.
Weird.
Like, an actual line of dialogue.
Okay. That's a little disappointing.
Yeah, no, I don't remember fighting a dummy at the beginning, but I definitely fought him.
You have a dummy in the tutorial, and then there's an optional dummy, which you very much can ignore.
Yeah,
Which it sounds
'cause
like you did.
I ignored it, and like the second one though, he attacks me. He's just like, hey, don't walk away from me like I'm just trash or something, and gets all upset and then attacks you.
And
then the ghost dude comes in and saves the day.
Yeah.
I kind of want to put a capper on this. We'll let Jock go first because I think he sort of said it first. I want to ask you, not necessarily to review it. You don't need to put a number on it or anything if you don't want to. But what did you think of the game? What did you think of the game? Are you going to put any more time into this game? And are you now interested in the world? Are you planning to play the sequels or looking at anything else on it? Like, answer those three things.
Good luck, because there is no sequel.
Right. Yeah, there's another game that the creator made that's in the same world.
Yeah, that's why I was like vague.
Maybe?
I was more vague on it. It's Deltarune.
Like, I see that it has release dates, but not available anywhere that I saw.
We'll discuss that in a bit. But are you interested in the world? Are you interested in other games? Things like what about those three questions?
So yeah, honestly, I've never I never really knew too much about the game except for like the things that you hear online and some things that friends have mentioned to me. And I just knew about I just knew that the way to get the best experience of the game was the pacifist run. So I said, okay, well, I'm gonna try that because I hear that it's just more fun and the game opens up. It becomes more complex when you do so. The playing the game, I really did enjoy the game. I really enjoyed it a lot. It was like I was really enjoying my time. I like the jokes. I like the I like a lot of the characters. I think the game really had a good sense of humor. One of the things I forgot to mention as well. I wanted to mention one of the encounters with Metron. Where this was the one where he has like we have the what was it? Where he's like a reporter, or you're like a reporter. You have to like go find a story for him, right? And then like when you find a story, all the things become bombs. All of them are bombs. Right? Which one did you guys pick, by the way? Do y'all remember?
The basketball.
The dog.
Okay, the dog.
Yeah.
Okay, I found it funny, by the way, with like the dog's tail lit up. I chose. What?
Yeah, the writing is really good. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I chose the video game. And like the Undertale game, and he was like, "Oh, the Undertale game was it was a bomb." I guess video games do cause violence. It was just funny. It had some good writing there. I like the enemy. I especially like the enemy where you just had to like ditch him, like at the end. I brought that up earlier. Was funny. But yeah, I definitely I think that this game really had like a lot of cool things. Playing it passively is what kind of really just made the game feel very rewarding with like a lot of the different options that I use that I have. Trying to do it, and it was also just very challenging but it was kind of fun trying to figure out what do I say to these people in what order in order to get them to like surrender, right?
Yeah,
so
I'm just asking for like your general thoughts.
Sorry. I'm not like no, I'm just sorry. I actually did get distracted by something. I was like, I'm looking at your stream and I see something very political that's like trending to the left, and I'm like, what the hell? So that's honestly why I stopped talking for a second. But
are you gonna put more time into this game?
I'm definitely gonna like finish like the route that I'm on. Like I'm gonna fight those extra bosses, and I'm going to like get the true ending since I'm already on that path. I'm definitely gonna do that. I might go through it again in the future and do a genocide run.
That's interesting.
Because I want to see how the genocide run goes. I want to fight Sans.
I'm a psychopath.
Yeah, I'm curious about that.
I want to fight Sans.
What about the world of Undertale? Like, there's kind of another game that's out, but there's not.
Apparently it is considered a parallel universe.
Yeah. Are you interested in other games or this world or books or comics or anything like that?
I might be interested in other games. I'm not sure about. I'm very bad at consuming supplementary like material for stuff. Like even like stuff that I really like. I think the only thing that I consumed supplementary material for was Avatar, where
Metal Gear.
I read the comics. I haven't even consumed a lot of supplementary like material for Metal Gear. Like I mostly just played the games.
The games are supplementary material for the games. They're so
Yeah.
dense.
That's just fucking true. But like, what was it? What was the other thing Scott brought up?
One Piece.
Um, if you count like people like theory videos, then yeah, I guess.
Oh, I didn't even
Like,
think about
I
that.
don't-
Like, are you gonna watch YouTube videos and stuff like that? That's an interesting question.
Which I'm surprised
Oh.
Jacques didn't watch YouTube videos about this, because game theories, that was like his bread and butter back in the day when this came out.
Well, you see,
like,
so the interesting
every
thing about it
Mac
was,
video was fucking Undertale until
So the
Five Nights at Freddy's came out.
so the thing about it was, and that was around the time I was watching it, but I also would like have like if there was a game that I thought I could see myself playing in the future, I wouldn't want to be spoiled, so I wouldn't watch those videos.
Okay,
I
'cause
get that.
That's why I'm just surprised. Was I knew you were heavily watching game theories, so I'm like, well, like I know that was his bread and butter for a long time.
Yeah, and I don't even remember that because I don't think I watched most of those videos. I think he might have been the one that I heard that the
Like
past.
he was literally the one that fucking gave a copy of the game to the Pope. Because he's like, this is the best game to ever exist.
Oh my
Jesus.
gosh. That's,
Jesus, that's
okay.
a little cringe.
Yeah, that's very
Yeah.
cringe. Yeah. Anyway, so Scott, same questions to you. Your overall thoughts? Are you gonna put any more time into this game? Are you interested in the world?
So, overall thoughts, I think it's a fine game. Like, I don't hate it. I just don't see the mass appeal that it became, if that makes sense. Like, I don't understand the hype. Like, I think it's a fine game. I think some of the comedy writing is my favorite part of this game. Hands down, the comedy of this game is, like, straight up my alley. Like, that's why I love Sans and Papyrus during Snowden specifically. Papyrus is my favorite character, and then Metatron is my second favorite because of the fun little, like, gimmicky things of, like, the news reporting where it's like, oh, it's a bomb!
Yeah,
Everything is a bomb!
yeah.
Like, I need you to go get, the substitute human soul on the top shelf.
Well,
I just enjoyed the comedy writing of this game.
also like the poses, by the way, that
Like-
Metatron made during his like final fight.
Yeah.
It's just all like he's just posing super fast.
But, like,
I couldn't
The
even look at the
actual-
poses. There's so much going on in that fight.
oh, there is. But the actual, like, game, I still feel that it's poorly written, that the neutral ending, which is what, again, most players
see
are gonna
that.
get their first time, just kind of sucks.
Yeah, I can definitely
And
see
then-
that.
The game very much hinges on how intrigued you are to then do a second playthrough on basically hard mode in order to get a good ending. Whereas I feel like if the neutral ending was just a decent ending, like not like it's not the perfect ending, but it's an okay ending, then what's the good ending or the true ending? Instead of
Mhm.
like, no, this ending just sucks.
Yeah,
It's literally just essentially bad ending. It's not much different than the genocide ending, essentially, other than you
I mean, like there are no more monsters to kill humans in the genocide, and
right,
you
but
kill
you
them
get
all.
the idea though. Like it's still a bad ending versus a neutral ending of just like, no, you just return home and that's it. Like everything is status quo, like as it was before.
Mhm.
And it's like, no, you actively made the world worse down there by just getting the neutral ending.
And the bad ending, you make the world dead.
Yeah, like the only ending where you have any positive influence is the pacifist run, which is essentially hard mode, and it's also something that most people aren't going to know about their first playthrough.
Mhm.
So I feel like that's kind of poor writing. I feel again that calling, being like it's execution points and all that was very heavy-handed with their message versus
I do feel like that was a
everything
little
else
bit.
in the game was
that was a
very
little bit
subtle.
much.
like, the Toriel and King's relationship was very subtle. You had to piece that together by the context clues. There was a lot of other things like that with context clues throughout the game that I thought was really nice. And then to just be like, no, we're just gonna flat out tell you this and try to make you feel bad for playing
Mhm.
this like a normal RPG. And I'm like, I don't know, I didn't care for that. But
Yeah.
overall, I think the game's fine. Like, I don't hate it. I think the game is a fine little thing, but I see it more as, to me, like a cool proof of concept or like a cool little thought experiment versus an actual like game, if that makes sense. Like, it's an interesting thought experiment to have a JRPG that wants you to not kill, and stuff like that, and to find a passive way through it, and actively makes it, harder to be the pacifist and to find this way through it. Like, I like that concept and that thought experiment. I just don't know how well of a game it made.
Yeah, I do feel like the like the neutral, like I kind of agree with you, like hearing from what you guys were saying, because I didn't really come into this thinking this, because I didn't know what the neutral gameplay was like, because I played passive, but like yeah, it does seem like the neutral game, like the neutral story was like lacking something, and it didn't feel as rewarding as it probably should have been to make people make more people like stick to the game.
Well, and even then, like most characters, like Sans basically just is a nothing character in the neutral path. Like, straight up just a nothing character. He shows up during Snowden, he shows up a few random points to be like, I could have killed you, and then to explain the whole execution thing, and that's it. That's his whole character. And it's like, okay. The professor never is even mentioned in the epilogue. Like, straight up just ignored. Like, she just did nothing ever again. Dean,
I think she comes back later for me, but she wasn't mentioned in my epilogue.
She does, but in neutral ending, she wasn't.
I was saying she wasn't even mentioned in my epilogue that I got where I'm at.
Right, but you have more to play. We don't.
Yeah,
like, that was the end of our playthrough completely. Undine just comes back to be a bitch at the end. Toriel comes back to be banished again, so she just ends up back in the ruins. Like, it's just
unless you killed her like some people.
That is true. Unless you killed her like certain assholes.
I killed her. She shouldn't have.
But it's like
came at
most
me.
of the characters, Papyrus basically just does nothing again after Snowden. Well, I'm sorry, after the waterfall in the neutral ending. Like, he does nothing ever again. Like, and all he does during the waterfall is call to ask what you're wearing, which I found funny.
Yeah.
I found that whole thing funny. Like, you would obviously wonder why I was asking that question and change clothing.
Right? Like, yeah.
You're lying.
Right? That scene was great. That scene was great. Like, I did not change, like clothing. I figured out what he was doing, but I didn't change clothing.
I didn't either. But I love the comedy again. I think a lot of the writing is very good, but I
like how he shoots you down, by the way, after the date. I don't know if we mentioned that. I don't know if we mentioned the fact that he shoots you down after the date, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm like,
on that.
you left.
I was in the bathroom. Okay. That's why I say I don't know if we mentioned it.
Are you gonna spend any more time with this game?
I have already deleted it. Like, I'm good. I beat the game. I platinum trophied it. I did what I was gonna do. I don't have the skills at Bullet Hell to bother with a pacifist run. Like, again, props to Jacques for doing it. Like, that is impressive to me, because like, I cannot do it.
It was hard.
It would I mean, I could maybe, but it would take so much time and effort to try and train my brain at this point to do it that it's not. I don't like the game that much.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like, I have to really care. I cannot. It's the same reason I suck at Mega Man games and learning the patterns and stuff like that for a lot of the bosses.
Well, shit, dude.
So Mega Man, I care enough about that I will, I can power through it and stuff like that. Whereas this, I just don't. And again,
as a Souls player, I'm all about remembering patterns.
What about the World of Undertale? If there's a sequel or lore or anything like that?
Not good. Again, the neutral route. Most of these characters didn't make enough of an impact on me to care about them. They were just one and done characters that showed up for their world, like their little area, and then never talked about again, or like never showed up again, never do anything again. A lot of them, for the most part, didn't even have any growth. They were just complete characters when you.
What about they make it like a? What if they make up like a papyrus focused game? Will you play that?
Nah, I'm still good. Like I
Alright.
like Papyrus. I'd probably watch a Let's Play of it. But as far as playing it, I'm good. Like I think the game was fine as a one-off experience, but it did not capture me enough. So
I think,
nothing against people that like it, but it was not for me.
I think I'm a little bit more middle of the road. I do think it's an above average game. Like, if you look at it overall, the writing and the designs, the gameplay, like all that stuff, they had a good idea. It was unique, and I think it is something that stands above a lot of what you see. But I do think there are some critical flaws in the game design. In terms of how it's presented to you, how the gameplay is taught to you. It does get fun in certain parts, but it kind of got repetitive to me in a weird way. I do see where the hype came from in that.
All the murder gets repetitive.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you didn't kill anything, so I did do a bit of grinding, and you do the same thing quite a bit. I do see where the hype came from on this, because there's enough for people that, and I don't think this is sort of the idea I got from it, especially when you when Scott mentioned the trophy statistics. I don't think this game was as popular as the internet would have led you to believe. I just think that the fan base that really liked it was very loud about it. But I don't think a lot of people, like in terms of numbers, I don't think a lot of people love the game that, like, I don't think that many people love the game.
Because again, I can look at just who beat, as far as PlayStation, who beat the Ruins.
Yeah.
Actually, most people. It looks like people tapered off about Hotland.
Yeah. So
only 50% of people do it.
Yeah, so I do get the hype for, and then the characters are, for me at least, they are interesting. There is some fun ways that they interact, and I like the world too. The world is interesting, where these monsters have basically been subjected to banishment, and they're trying to fight their way out. And then some of them aren't trying to fight their way out. Some of them are just trying to survive in the world that they're presented. I don't think I'm gonna continue to put any more time into this particular game. I'm not really too interested in playing through a hard mode, and the genocide run seems fun to me, because I would like to see just how strong I can get, and defeat all the bosses and defeat Sans. I think that'd be a cool experience, but I don't know if I'm gonna put the hours in to do that. I am interested in the world. I'm gonna look into whatever that parallel sequel thing is, and if there is an Undertale 2, if there is an Undertale 2, I'm probably gonna look into it. I would probably play it.
I probably play it, yeah.
By Deltarune 2 because it says it's available on PlayStation 4, but it is not.
Yeah.
Like, you cannot play it on PS4.
Yeah, I think the game is above average in a lot of aspects, but there are just some critical flaws that make me not interested. But I'm glad that I got to play it. I'm glad I finally have this under my wing and behind me now. I played Undertale. I mean,
it was a nice game.
Oh, hello, Julian.
Oh, Julian's here.
Why in the hell didn't you two share that this stream was going on?
Because it's just this stream. We're not doing our own stream.
Well, you could still share that we're here and that people come see.
Listen, I don't care enough.
Julian, shouldn't you be asleep?
I honestly, like, I'm not like feeling great today, and I honestly woke up and just like stumbled on like freaking stumbled up to my chair and sat down and started talking about the tale.
Stumbled in here. Yeah, we didn't.
I think I'm coming down. I think I'm coming down with a cold right now. Either that or my allergies are just really messing me up.
I came to make a small cameo appearance, and then leave. I had made that cameo.
Yeah, well, before you leave, we're just about done with our discussion. Did you have any thoughts on Undertale you wanted to share?
I can't stand the gameplay. The story mode feels a little. Sometimes the story mode feels like it's forcing me to not deviate from the path, and deviate from the path of be a good boy, and it's annoying because you do one bad thing and suddenly you're the villain, evil, and it's annoying. And other than like the characters being interesting, I wasn't really a fan of this game.
Fair enough. Anything else anyone wants to say before we end this?
I do want to mention this. Like one
Oh.
thing I want to
There's
say.
a lot of weird porn.
Music.
I don't know any of the
No.
porn.
There's a lot of weird porn.
What was it like the music in this game fucking slapped? By the way.
Yeah, I've been
I
playing.
wanna mention
I've been
that
playing
as
through the soundtrack like this whole time we've been speaking, and I like it.
Oh right, that's
I
the only other good thing
I like
about
the
this
soundtrack
game.
quite a bit.
Yeah.
I like the music.
I don't know,
and-
like nothing really stood out to me on that one.
The
Spring Break stood out to me a
Metron's.
lot, but
You didn't like that
Bit-
Starlight music? Do 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 do.
it was okay.
I like.
Like the
I mean,
boss
like,
theme from Metatron for Metron was like really good. I like that.
The way for me it was, and this is just again personal opinion and preference, it all felt fine in its area, but not something I would listen to as a separate soundtrack, if that makes sense. Like, it's fine in the game. I think it works well for each area. I think that, you know, it's like, oh yeah, this fits this area perfectly. But is it something I would listen to on a soundtrack? Nah, I'm good.
Yeah, I made a mistake asking for final thoughts on this game. That's not what I wanted to do because we'll just keep meandering.
Oh, I did
I said
want to
what I
mention
did,
one last thing about this game.
Mhm.
The internet would have you believe that this was like Toby Fox only, and there was like 20 or 30 different people that worked on this game.
Oh, I didn't know. I didn't know that. Well, I
Like,
didn't
if
know
you
that
actually
that was
look at the
the game.
credits, like,
No,
I
there's
think-
a lot
I
of
think-
people
I
that
think
worked on
the-
this game.
I think what it was. I did look at the
Everyone
credit.
only ever credits Toby Fox.
I think
for the game.
I think they did. I think was it. I did look at the credits, and I
A
think
lot
what it
of other
was
people
is
worked
he was
on
the only.
sprite work. A lot
Yeah,
of people
I think he was the only coder.
No, there was like 4 coders.
Oh,
I
never
don't know.
mind.
I didn't know the name Toby Fox until I played this game. So
Yeah,
he's not
so-
as popular as the internet would lead
so
you
it-
to believe.
Right, but when Undertale was popular and stuff, everyone was just talking about like Toby Fox, and it's like, bro, there's a whole team. Like, he is not some solo indie developer. Like, there's a whole team here. It's not a huge team. This is still very much.
Yeah, it was a very small. It was a very small team.
It's still a team effort, not one dude.
I guess I think Scott is just calling out that
Yeah.
Toby Fox may be getting more credit than
I.
Yeah,
supposed to give it to him.
He's.
But then again, I
To
don't
be
know.
fair,
What
I don't think he was like
it's
trying to
him. I
steal
don't
the
think
credit. Yeah,
I don't
because
think
like
it's him doing
again,
it.
I made a
their
mistake.
names were in their names
leading the
were in the
conversation
credits.
this way. I did not want to go down like talk this much about it. We need to discuss what we're gonna do for next month. I think
Yeah.
those are our final thoughts
we
on
have a-
Undertale. We're all
we
glad we
have a
played
list.
it.
What do you?
What's
what do you
next
want?
month?
What do you want to do?
Nobody's posted any suggestions
Let's play
aside
Sonic
from the
one.
ones that I posted. You want to play Sonic? The only
Let's play
Sonic.
Sonic one.
You want to play Sonic? I was thinking last night. I was like, what? The Gameclub
Yeah,
were
but the
able to
problem with
finish.
Sonic, like, I've already done all of them, so I won't have any fresh thoughts on it. Like,
Hold on.
because that's my problem with it is just like I already
I got
have
the-
preconceived notions
I
of
finally
like pretty
hear
much every
this-
Sonic because
I'm-
I've already played them all.
I'm finally hearing the Sans theme.
I knew I would like the music from Undertale because I like that song already. So like I knew I liked and I like Metron's like theme. Like when I was during that fight, that was good. That was I really did like that theme.
Look, here's what I posit. And
Oh, Julian.
God
By the way,
damn it, I'm trying to finish this.
I'm sorry. I just want to let Julian know that I played completely passive. By the way, I didn't kill a soul.
No one
Yeah, this
cares,
is
Shock. At this point, he can listen to the stream if he cares.
Okay,
I was
I'll
gonna-
just stop there. I
Alright, sorry.
I agree with
What-
Julian. We should do a Sonic game. I'm thinking Sonic Frontiers. If Aaron from Game Grumps could finish this game in under 20 hours, the 4 of us should be able to finish that game in under 20 hours. Are you guys okay with playing Sonic Frontiers for July?
I mean,
Yeah.
I'll be
Only Sonic
fine,
game
but
I haven't finished yet.
Scott already has a preconception of every Sonic game, is what he was saying. So it won't be as much of a like thing for him. He
Good night,
Yeah,
I'll
already
it's
knows
gone
it.
through Sonic Frontiers though.
I'm
Yeah.
yeah. about half of it.
So Julian owns Frontiers on the Switch, like a fucking loser. I got it on
I
PS5.
didn't buy it. It was given to
Shock,
me.
or Julian also streamed a bunch of it too.
Yeah.
I streamed some of it, like, but before the sickness kicked in.
I'm sure we could knock out Sonic Frontiers for July. Do you think there's enough content for two discussions, or do we want to try to force everything into one discussion? Because
One is fine.
If
It's not enough to do discussions. I'm gonna be honest.
If we do, it'll probably
yes,
be
one
the
discussion.
when is your Jock? I know you have a bachelor party. When is your bachelor party and wedding?
Not
Oh.
even close. Not even.
the bachelor party is like at the end of next month, but I am moving in like the beginning of next month.
Okay.
So like, I will
Like I
not
said,
be like,
it's
anything.
not-
Like I will like say this. I will like not. I will not be here on the
By the 26th.
no. I will not be here on the 14th.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm moving. I'm moving that day.
Okay.
Yeah, like I said, by the 26th we'll be fine.
So the 26th is the last Wednesday of July. Are we all good for doing a Sonic Frontiers discussion on the 26th?
Should be.
All right. All right.
Hmm.
Then we'll do it. We'll play Sonic Frontiers. I'm only like 4 hours into it because I was streaming it, but
I've never touched it. I'm not even sure what it is. Is that the new one that just came out with the open
Yeah.
world?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Okay.
Jock's gotta go buy that now.
yeah, Jog. If you need some help, let me know and we'll figure something out.
Sonic
I'll
is the blue
definitely-
hedgehog creature, by the way.
I think. I don't know. I was gonna say, let me see if it's on sale right now. They are doing a big like mid-year sale right now.
I got a sale for you. It's in my pants. It's my underwear.
So,
Might.
let's go before I talk about the stupid thing that fucking I have been
Oh, that's right. I can't check.
seeing
because-
everywhere.
Or yeah, I can.
That's fine. We'll
no,
figure
it's
that
not
out.
on sale right now.
Yeah, we'll figure something out, Jock.
Oh wait. The digital deluxe edition is $42 for the digital deluxe edition on PS5.
That's pretty good, and you get free Monster Hunter DLC. That's the only reason I bought Sonic Frontiers. For
Oh my
No matter
God.
what, you get free Monster Hunter. You don't have just the base game gets you free Monster Hunter DLC
I know.
Yeah,
you just get
download
free
it.
Monster Hunter DLC. I was just
and
it was
the
the
Santa outfit.
yeah, and yeah, it was a non-actual incentive. I was just wanting to bring a Monster Hunter.
I figured, but
Yeah,
I was gonna mention it anyway.
Here we go. That's the end of the OST. That's the end of our discussion. We're gonna be back next month. I'm gonna upgrade. I'm gonna update the Discord. Make sure to join us, and if you're interested in Sonic Frontiers, play that game with us. We'll be discussing it at the end of the month. Have a good night, I'm gonna end stream. Have a good night, everybody.